I hit layer 2.
Oh boy.
Test. Okay, everything looks good.
Layer
Everyone
3.
consents. Okay.
I consent. I consent.
I consent.
What are we consenting to?
Be recorded.
Everything.
We'll be famous.
Make some sexy recordings of us.
Here.
Post ceremony.
We should
Here.
feed John Jack.
Oh God.
Oh, man. Okay.
What kind of recordings are these again?
They're just audible recordings, just so I can reference my voices that I make later on. Because, not gonna lie, I was trying to figure out how I did Full Stace's voice, and I had no reference point, so bear in mind.
We'll make it up because we have nothing. It was like, ooh. It's like Soren, kinda, but less dead.
Okay. Yes. This is actually a clinic. Or this was a clinic. But where are my manners? My name is Eiza. I'm one of the few remaining in these lands.
Her name is Isaac?
Eiza?
Eiza.
Eiza. Okay.
Ooh, that's a cool name.
The lady's name?
That's a lady's name.
Alright.
Dope.
And pray tell, who may you folks be?
I give a disgruntled clicking sound.
Leans into everybody. No. You hear everyone make the sound of a thunk. His name is Thump. Old lady Thump. His name is Thump. He's our spokesman.
Okay, Mr.
He
Hi.
speaks for us.
Hi, I'm Kytrus.
Like, yes, check us up.
Okay.
Does our prisoner say, does our rescuee say anything?
That's the tone of
exactly
the
how you
He
think.
doesn't say anything.
He's still kind of woozy from everything. If you guys remember, he took a slam to the face and then fell down a bit.
Yeah.
A lot of it. So he's a little out of it. He's like semi-conscious. Folsa goes, we have to escape.
Hey, sounds
He
like
made it out.
not really doing many secrets here. Who's that? Isa, who's this?
Mr. Conqueror. I see that you've managed to escape your restraints, but you do need to go back into your what's the medical word? The medical ward. It is not
Is
safe
there-
for you to be out here. For us.
Is there a reason you put him in chains?
Yes. Unfortunately, there has been a disturbance in these lands, as I'm sure you're aware. Oh, speaking of which, do I hear the other prisoners? Or, sorry, retcon that, not prisoners. The other patients.
That's a Freudian slip.
No. Patients. You wouldn't have them to let them out, by any chance, have you?
The zombie.
They're still, if you think about it really hard, they're still bound.
And she goes over to the trapdoor.
That's what I you.
And then she shoots out a little bit of light down there. Sees a writhing, massive body slowly climbing up. And she says, Oh dear, that's not good.
Sorry.
It's okay. I have ways of dealing with this. And then she
Do you care to explain what exactly are they and why you make a habit of collecting
People.
You can't talk.
The spider waggles its eyebrows.
I'm sorry, did you just imply that spiders have eyebrows?
They can.
hairs above their eyes. Let's go with that.
Mish, you worked in a spider lab, you can confirm.
Spiders are mammals. I don't know how to tell you this.
But they have eyebrows though, right?
I don't.
Mish,
have
do you
been-
not know? Do you not know about spiders?
Exposed.
I thought you worked with them.
She's been
I don't
exposed.
think spiders have facial hair.
That's what you think.
I thought spiders do have hair on them, don't
The next time you go back into the lab, you gotta put them under the microscope. But
I just
is it just me or is Michelle kind of cutting out a little bit?
Definitely.
am I cutting out now?
I think she's just overwhelmed about spiders.
I was being overwhelmed around spiders. Am I cutting out now?
Yes, better.
Okay, you're fine.
Well, no, you're not cutting out.
No, you're not cutting out. Yes, we're going through now.
Yes, the I don't trailing off into sadness was me just being sad.
Oh, of course.
You're such a good actor.
Why,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay, this probably is not the right place for us to have this discussion. So, let's first take care of the issue down there. You there, you said your name was Sully, is that right?
I didn't, but
I couldn't hear if everyone was introducing themselves, or it was just Kaitra and Arrow.
oh, I did. I was like, should we say our names or no?
Okay. You there, big man in suit of armor.
Oh, that's me. Yes.
Yes, help me move my bookcase real quick.
Okay.
Okay.
I do it.
Okay, and she directs you to just plop it right on top of the trapdoor.
Can I, like, do an Arcana check to see how powerful of a person we're dealing with?
I'd be more
You try,
intelligent.
go ahead and roll an Arcana check.
Okay.
And while Berwood does that, can I do an insight check to see how honest they're?
But which part of her statement are you checking? Is like all of it? Like if she's hiding
The
something? Or...
patience thing.
Yes.
The
Can I have 8 entire eyes right now and 8 entire eyebrows, so I am going to insight check her as well.
Can I
You
punch
use the-
this spider?
Yeah, you have to use the spider's stats. Is the spider wise?
I thought that you used your own mental stats. Is
You
it
use your own mental stats and the animal's physical stats?
Oh, okay. I thought you also took the intelligence of the.
No.
No?
No, because then you wouldn't be able to like do player stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, you keep your int, whiz, and crit.
Oh, okay. So previously that was for. So if you polymorph, then you get the intelligence, but.
Yeah, the polymorph is
While she's,
fine.
I gotcha. Okay.
Also, while they're all checking her out, and she's turned around to face the trap door, in the background, Arrow's like motioning to a very big thing and pointing at plants as if to mention the giant has mistletoe. Bigger problem outside.
Oh boy.
Yes. So what you can tell. So Gwen figures this out, not Braywood. Gwen, you realize that it seems like it's a pretty radical form of treatment. You don't know if you're necessarily helping them out or anything, but the mistletoe was definitely binding, and you did see them acting very aggressive. You weren't quite sure if the aggressiveness was a result of the mistletoe, but if they were already like that to begin with, then it was probably a good idea to bind them up. If that makes any sense.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I followed that.
Well, it's also
Go ahead and
another
summarize
giant
it
thing
for
that-
me.
Okay. From my understanding, and out of character, Brooks, just correct me if this is wrong, the mistletoe was stopping them from escaping.
Okay.
I don't know if it's making them better or worse in terms of their like emotional state.
Okay.
Out of character, is that right?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
And I get no reading on exactly how powerful this person is in terms of like magic and stuff.
In terms of magic, you recognize that. I don't think Arcana really lets you check out exactly how powerful they are. It gives you like a rough estimate.
So like what should I roll then?
From your understanding, you can tell that she's like a magic user.
Yeah.
As far as how strong she is, you can't really get a glimpse of that, just because it's more like magic is more talent and like use based as opposed to like pure energy. So I would say you can tell she's not a sorcerer.
She's not a sorcerer?
She's not a sorcerer in the sense that sorcerers have this aura of power around them because they're like innately magical, and I'll say warlocks to some extent have it as well.
Got it.
Regular
Okay.
wizards and other spellcasters don't really have that type of aura.
Alright, Gwen will share her findings with the group. She'll just casually mention the mistletoe was used as some sort of binding. I've seen it flourish in the presence of magic before, but I cannot say what other effect it has been having on these patients.
Yes, as you've seen already, those patients are rather aggressive and a threat as much to themselves as to other people.
Okay, so when she says that the patients are aggressive, that is what I'd like to.
Sure. Go ahead and roll another insight check. Ooh. You can tell she's hiding something, but for the most part, she's definitely, like, she's not hiding about anything about their aggressiveness, I would say. I would say, like, it doesn't appear as though she's hiding the origin of the aggressiveness.
So she's not lying.
She's not lying
that
she's like, oh, I like the mistletoe caused the aggressiveness.
Gotcha. Okay.
I have a question.
Certainly. We should relocate. I have a laboratory and a workshop we can discuss these findings at.
Is it underground?
No, I was going to cast some open a portal so we could all just go there easily.
Where's the?
I click distrustfully.
We can have a discussion here if you would like. I personally think this house is a little dreary. It is kind of my establishment that I use.
I click distrustfully again.
Gwen will look at the others and mention she did not lie about the mistletoe curbing whatever they, at the very least.
Well, the thing is that most of the things we've encountered in this world have either been powered by sadness or giant monsters. So I think I want to stay in the place that has a sanctuary.
Okay.
Oh, good job remembering that.
This is a good idea.
That's true. I have a question though.
Yes, go on.
So, I guess my question is, who are these people?
These people?
Yeah, the ones down there.
And up here.
In the pit. And the one up here.
The ones down there that you have seen transformed.
Mm-hmm.
They are the older patients that I have not been able to help there yet. We have still yet to find a cure for this ailment.
And what ailment is that?
I was about to ask that.
We call it the... It's a little hard to think of a word off the top of my head. Without sounding like a zombie. But...
The living zombies. The living dead.
The undead?
Maybe the dead that walk, even.
I am personally a fan of they are filled with rage.
Oh, is that...
Rage walkers.
28 days later.
Oh, I like Rage Walkers. That sounds pretty.
Yeah. Let's go with the rage walkers. Yes, they are the rage walkers.
TM.
But
TM.
Yeah.
Okay, mark that quickly.
I understand if you do not trust me enough, but here, let me show you that I can be trusted. She pulls up the sleeve of her cloak a little bit, and you see that it is a white feather bracelet, very identical to the ones you guys received from the fairies. Anyone who has been gifted one of these is a friend of the fairies, and thus you are a friend of mine, and I am an ally of yours.
That's not quite how that works.
She shrugs. Whatever works. But
I have a question, DM.
sure.
I've never been a druid before. Can you only prepare your spells at dawn every morning?
I think so. It's just like clerics and everything. The only ones who don't prepare are warlocks, I think. Warlocks and paladins know all their spells, I think.
Yeah, for you it's the end of a long rest. Yes.
Claire, you don't happen to know detect poison and disease, do you?
Let me see what I have prepared as of this morning. Let me consult my memory book.
Oh my god, look at your drawings. You guys went ham.
No, we didn't.
Mostly just...
You know, I didn't write down my spells for today, so I'm going to say I did. As Mish hastily writes down her spells for today in the back.
But if you will not come with me to lab, that is understandable. Here, let me make it a little more comfortable in here. And you see that on her waist, she has a. You guys are adventurers. You've seen bags of holding before.
Yeah.
She reaches inside. She motions for you guys to go to like the other room, which is like kind of like the kitchen area, which doesn't have any furniture there. It's very dusty. She pulls out of her sack a big ass table and a couple of comfy, squishy armchairs. She just like kind of chucks it, and they like immediately appear out of nowhere. You're not quite sure how exactly it fit into the bag, but they just.
Her bag holding is like the space bags, you know, where they like suck out all the air and flatten your clothes and stuff.
It just like instantly inflates and just plops on the ground.
Yes.
Thunk, 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 thunk.
Gwen immediately claims an entire
What was it?
An armchair has been claimed by the horse.
Alright, yeah, I go sit in one of them.
I'll say it's 2 armchairs and like a couch.
Ha!
I don't remember. Is our rescuee not prisoner friend still riding on my back?
Yeah, he's kind of lying there.
Then I skitter a little bit so that we have a more comfortable vantage point. I'm just gonna chill here and be his chair.
Is he alive?
So, okay, so, yes, I see you've met the Mr. Conqueror. He is the most recent inpatient, and, he is not infectious, but it would be wise to watch over him, if you were so inclined. Just be wary of him.
I click approvingly.
Well, if we're talking, would you mind if I ask you some questions?
Sure, everyone have a seat, whoever's not sitting, but, feel free to ask me what you'd like. I understand adventurers like you have many questions.
Arrow will sit with the giant spider.
I sit down.
Gwen somehow tries to perch in a couch.
How does a centaur sit?
Very carefully.
You're gonna have to draw this out for me later, but okay.
Draw it in Aggie.
I can't, it's loading.
Loading.
I don't know if there's room to draw an Aggie.
Oh no, we need to delete some shit.
Alright, so what actually do we want to find out? Because why the hell are we here? Out of character.
More about, we were
I
just
mean,
exploring,
it's
to
a
be
brave
honest.
new world. We have literally no resources, so we will die if we don't get our shit figured out. And we don't know what humans are here or have been here. We know nothing.
Alright, I have a question.
Ultimate goal is to destroy the things that create horrifying necrospheres.
We went to the lighthouse, the one up on the mountain, right?
Mhm.
We looked through it. We just saw like a bunch of really sad people having a sad time. And like, we took an orb made of fucking suffering and powered it to see more fucking sadness. So my question is, what the fuck?
Oh, is this all in character?
Yes.
Oh, okay. The lighthouse, the Grand Observatory.
Not the lighthouse, the observatory, yeah.
The Grand Observatory. It shows fragments of the past, sometimes the future, and powered by the power sources of our people.
Yeah, those power sources.
Our sources are just other people.
I forget, you're not acquainted with these lands. What we have, what these orbs, as you call it, I dare say that you have some on your belonging even now. These orbs are arcane foci that we use to channel and manage our daily lives. They're very
But just
efficient.
to clarify, they are other people.
They have been formed, yes, of
They've what?
beings, of
Formed beings, okay.
sentience beings. Some of them, yes, were humanoids. Some of them were not. I can say that those who went into the orb were either criminals, prisoners of war, or undesirables of the population. Or, in some cases, they were the elderly, or the terminally ill, who decided to give up their lives so that they may better the rest of our lives.
Alright, so that wasn't a fucking sanctuary. Okay.
Um,
Where'd everyone go?
There was a mass exodus. In our lands, it was a veritable paradise, but with such fruitful lands, with such fertility, came much strife and war over the resources. Eventually, the Great Wars became too much for our people, and we were forced to leave these lands for the safety of other lands unknown to us, beyond the Great Barrier.
So, if you were running away from a war, why isn't this place full of the conquerors of said war? What happened to the people you were fighting?
It was a civil war. We fought amongst one another as our resources began to dwindle, as people began to consolidate power far beyond what individuals should possess. Eventually, those who fought, they obliterated themselves into non-existence, or created beings of war so great and so terrible that they were forced to flee and go into hiding. Those civilians that managed to survive fled to the east, and were thence from, we have never heard of them again.
And are these...
Give me 1 second, let me close my window, it's fucking cold. Oh, God.
Okay.
No. In the background, you just hear Arrow repeat, resources dwindle.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, it's all...
Oh dear!
You okay?
That's concerning.
Oh my Jesus above, you okay?
Been killed by a robot!
You just witnessed a murder, guys.
I think Brooks is dead.
He's dead!
now what?
I'm the witch!
Alright, I'm the dungeon master now.
Okay, what now?
Gwen,
Yes?
one of your legs
Becomes a human foot.
becomes a human foot.
Can the other one of my legs become a snake foot?
You have 3 other legs!
Okay, can I have the third leg
Foot.
become a snake foot? You're the DM, you decide what that means.
Brooks, are you okay?
You roll a constitution save.
Shut up. Brooks, are you alive?
Brooks is dead.
Okay, I'm back. Ooh.
What happened?
That timing.
So I was closing my window, and I bumped into my monitor, which bumped into my microphone, which bumped into my other stuff, which all fell on the ground, and then everything got tangled. But I'm okay.
I was so ready for you to say, and then the laptop fell out the window.
Luckily, it was just the monitor that just fell on the ground, but it's okay. No damage, I think.
Unless Brooks was replaced by an imposter.
Oh shit.
Who
Oh,
the fuck are you?
fuck, is it like the body
It's
snatchers
Eiza.
apocalypse now?
Dear players, I have entered your realm.
Uh,
I'll find each and one of you and make you guys my patients.
oh.
Come on, guys, Halloween's not until tomorrow.
Happy Halloween.
What was that?
No,
Alright.
Halloween. Alright.
Okay. Yeah, so I just explained how it...
Civil War, giant machines of war, stuff like that.
Yeah, giant definitions of war.
Kind of sucks because that's why we're here.
Yes.
So, real important question.
Yes.
Are these massive machines of war still walking around?
Yes. Of course.
Great.
Is the mistletoe man one?
Mistletoe man. You must be referring to the copper giant.
Oh. Yes.
Maybe?
That's what I meant.
I don't know how he managed to escape his bonds, or not fully escape, but he's still vaguely restrained for the moment. We are still not quite certain as to what powers him, nor what his goal is, but
Oh.
just yesterday, he was seen moving towards the city, and screaming out and shouting and whatnot.
Wait, moving towards the city? Who's the I thought the... Out of character. So it's not the Holly monster, because the Holly monster already reached the city.
Yeah,
No,
but yesterday, because you guys spent tonight at the observatory.
Yeah, she saw it yesterday, but heading toward the town. We saw it in the town.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so if there were some misguided guilds attempting to open a path between over there and here, and one of these giant machines of war found said path, what hypothetically would happen?
It would probably be death of me. Definitely the death of me. And anyone who would come across his path.
Phenomenal.
There's
Hey.
very few remaining living beings within these lands. Again, it is a surprise to see adventurers trickling in from seemingly nowhere. Where are you guys from? Please, I must know.
Elsewhere.
Reached that level of security yet. So maybe later.
I see. I understand.
But
The
we're
hidden
not.
locations of pockets of civilization that may still exist in these lands definitely should be a secret, and I understand if you are hesitant in sharing this
But I would like to confirm that we are not locals.
Yes, I figured that much out.
You shared a lot with me, I'll share a bit with you. I'm from...
Wait, but this is not true for everybody else.
That's why I said I would. What's the, Brooke, what's the kingdom that I'm from?
Premium nobility.
Premium nobility. I'm from the Premium nobility. Do you know what that is?
I am not familiar with
It's a
that
place where a bunch of aloof-ass hats tell a bunch of other people what to do.
There's clicking of agreement from the background.
It's moist.
More clicking of agreement.
And you don't really want to go there. It's kind of lame.
Disgruntled clicking, but accepting clicking.
But you have civilization then.
Yeah, we got civilization.
Clicks of
That must. So it seems the refugees made it out alive.
Ah, so you didn't know they existed. Interesting. How long have you been here?
It has been some time. How old do you think I look?
How old does she look, actually?
Is she human?
Because I've
She
been
is human. She is human.
I've been imagining just like an adult woman. Is that what I
She is
see?
a middle-aged woman. I'll say like late 50s, early 60s.
She looks okay. Brooks, have you listened to the Adventure Zone yet?
I have not. What is that?
Okay, step fucking one. Listen to the Adventure Zone immediately. It is the best D&D podcast.
Here, one sec. I'm gonna roll.
Lucretia, the director, is now how I am picturing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm gonna roll a
Are you like...
charisma
I'm
check.
like, this is
That's not
Lucretia.
charisma.
Where the fuck's
Wait, I want to
charisma?
perceive
Right
also.
side.
Alright, so I'll be like, hey, you know what? I don't know, maybe 40.
Like 40?
Can I...
Like, no, 40. No, I'm 40 years old. I don't know. You're pretty good.
Oh, well, thank you. You are certainly a
What do I
flattering.
see in her wrinkles?
Her
I was
wrinkles.
assuming that this would then be followed by an actual answer.
What?
Yeah, okay. Alright.
Well, you look-
Sure.
So why didn't you leave?
It is my duty to remain here.
Oh,
Try to make a homeland what it once was.
interesting.
So this walking dead zombie thing, dead walker,
It's just
you
one
think
of the
they can
many
be...
weapons of war.
So you're trying to destroy these weapons of war, or contain...
We, of course, there are many tasks I am given. My task is to try to reverse engineer the Rage Walkers. How exactly the enchantment upon them can be broken, how to revert them back to normal. The mistletoe you see on them is to
Can I,
restrain them, but keep them alive until we can figure out and ascertain as to how reversible this is.
Brooks.
Never before have I wanted to insight more in my life.
Yes.
Brooks, I'm gonna waggle all 8 of my eyebrows and insight check this woman.
Okay, you guys can both insight check.
Can please everyone help?
I will also insight.
I nat 1. I'm distracted because I realize I don't have eyebrows.
No. You started waggling your 8 eyes and you're like, wow, this is weird.
I'm very distracted.
I realize I don't have eyebrows. Please, can someone be competent? Kaitra, that's not bad.
What about...
Come on, Thunk.
Arrow, is Arrow gonna take a look?
Okay.
Continue. Don't continue.
What lives on?
No solely insight?
I did.
Oh,
You failed.
Okay,
well, we got a 15.
Kaitra, you know that she's hiding something about
Great.
the
Talk.
Rage Walkers. You're not quite
Fuck.
sure what though, but you get the
Yeah,
fact
I'm gonna assume that it's to make a fucking army of them, or something like that.
But Arrow will ask, what exactly do the Rage Walkers do, slowly and with hand motion?
like you're asking what exactly they did, like their crime or what?
Yeah, like what... Basically, if these are great weapons of war, what do they do that make them weapons of war? How scared should we be?
I don't know
Right.
the backs or the history behind the Rage Walkers. All I do know
Sorry.
is that one day they appeared on our battlefields, and their insatiable thirst for battle and potentially flesh. They were very effective fighters that were not deterred by pain nor tiredness. They were designed for just destruction in mind.
And they are contagious, yes? You said this one, and she'll wave her hand towards the prisoner, is going to become...
Yes, we're still not certain as to how more Rage Walkers are formed. We don't know if they have been induced via a serum of some sort, or if it's like a pathogen, or maybe even a ritual just to transform a normal living being.
If it's a pathogen, wouldn't that mean?
Yes, as far as we can tell, there have been no obvious symptoms of...
Then how do you know this one is going to become one?
It'll be air.
Yes, we have these special devices. It is a handheld mirror.
Yeah.
Once you reflect the patient within its reflection, you can see the darkness within and see exactly what ails them. So, with the Rage virus, yes, you would be able to see the insatiable reddened eyes. I think I said red last time, right? And the pointed ears,
Yeah.
the gray pallid skin. You can see a reflection of what they will become.
Cool. I say nothing.
Kreiter's intrigued. Oh. So, you say that this is if they look into a mirror?
No, as in you can see the disease within the mirror. The mirror shows that they have the disease.
We have in these lands enchanted mirrors. They vary in size and strength, but they do carry the power to see within a person's being, within their essence.
All right.
The one I
mirrors-
use in my clinic is one that can just is powered by just a small orb, a small blue one. Very very straightforward.
She says small blue
Or, sorry,
orb.
not small blue, small brown one.
Oh no. Ugh.
Someone should ask her about the mirror that you can reach through.
Yeah.
No.
I click and convey that to all of you mentally.
Wow, I should really start talking about the mirror that we can reach through. All right. I have another what the fuck question.
Of course.
Can we like find a big mirror? Like a
That
really
you can reach through.
like it didn't show anybody's essence or anything.
Well,
But we like put
It
it.
did.
it showed your brown eye, your eye.
No, it showed what was inside every orb. It showed the essence
No,
of every orb.
But I thought well, what she was talking about with the essence was the mirror shows the person shows the essence of the person reflected. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
I mean, you were hooking up an orb to it, and it showed the essence of the orb hooked up to it.
Okay, but hold on. No. Okay, so we found a mirror. It's a really big one. It didn't show anybody's essence or anything, but like we hooked an orb up to it, and like a hand made of tar, pleading for help, sort of crawled at us, and this was really weird because you could sort of reach through the mirror. So if we hadn't stopped it, the hand would have come through. So what the fuck?
You say you found the mirror of id?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
It is one of our incredibly powerful artifacts.
Cool.
Again,
That'd be-
it has, in addition to its normal capabilities, it has the ability to reach inside our other artifacts of power, such as, for instance, our orbs. But those are few and far in between. Where exactly
yeah.
did you find it?
That's not important.
See,
I
if
don't-
you hadn't said that, I would have paused and said, around.
So you see Eiza's eyebrows kind of furrow a bit. Her eyes narrow. She's clearly like making connections in her mind while you guys are talking. Yes. Since you are here, adventurers, I'm sure you must be questioning about these orbs. Aside from what we use for them, we have a couple of varieties. Each one stems from different sources. Please, I can sense them on you. It is not obvious. I mean, it is very obvious that you hold them within your possessions. May I see them for a moment?
Why?
I must know who and what I am dealing with before I divulge any more information. If
Alright,
you
so-
have seen the mirror of id,
wait, what was it?
if you have seen and know of the existence of the mirror of id, you clearly know more and have seen more than I've expected.
Now hold on, don't underestimate, or is it don't underestimate or don't overestimate?
Don't
it?
overestimate us.
Don't overestimate me!
Or underestimate you guys, because as I'm sure you've seen, the mirror of id is a very powerful artifact. It lets you reach into, I would say, almost different dimensions, the microcosms and the macrocosms of our universe.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Rachel's like, are you calling me competent?
How
Don't you think
dare
that I know how to do anything? Thinks inside of brain and wishes that she could talk to friends. Should we tell her about the mirror?
Can we have a group huddle really quickly?
Sure, and then she plugs her
Spider
ears.
blinks
You know-
distrustfully.
Gather our, like, figure out what we want to share? Do you promise not to listen?
I narrow my eyes as if to convey, fuck you, I'm not wild shaping out of spider form if we're gonna fight this lady.
I will step out of the house for a moment, and I will prepare in case you wish to follow. The
Or
next
we should
destination,
step
which is
out
my
of the
abode.
house, just in case.
Oh yeah, we should get out of the house,
Sure,
right?
whatever you prefer. I stay in here, you guys stay out there.
Okay, we'll go outside.
Alright, we step out of the house.
Where's the copper giant? Isn't he close?
He's in the city. It's in the distance, based on.
Okay,
the map.
okay.
Yeah. You can see the top of his head, though.
Alright, so are we outside of the house and the door is closed?
The door, if you wish to close it, is closed. Yes.
I close the door.
I scuttle irritably.
Alright, take out the mirror and look at everyone's essence.
Do we have the mirror?
Yeah, he went back for it, remember?
I have the hand mirror.
Kytra literally doubled back and almost died.
Okay,
What
so
is it called?
I'll say you guys will each take turns. I'll say you guys are kind of huddled around it. So, yeah, so this is going to be interesting since it's not really a whisper at this point.
Okay.
What does everybody's essence look like?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
can
I'll start with Gwen. She looks completely
Sweet.
normal in the mirror. Completely normal.
Okay.
Sully goes up next. You guys are all peering into it.
Okay.
Sully, you just see a massive roiling tar pit.
Oh,
Oh!
Wait, sorry, can you say that one more time?
boiling tar, you said? Fantastic!
Massively, like broiling, like royal. You know, like it's like
The exact same thing we saw when we looked into the black orb of death.
Worrying!
It's a white orb, by the way. So that is Sully. I mean, you guys kind of figured that out at that point. You guys,
Everyone?
I want to see this in the mirror and then just sort of look up at Sully.
It's Sully's. I mean, we draw Sully's face.
As we all see Sully's essence, you see Arrow reach out and poke Sully. Very confused.
Sully doesn't move.
so for
I look at
Arrow-
you with 8 suspicious and worried spider eyes.
Okay, so then Braywood's reflected in the mirror. You see
Yeah?
that it looks like Braywood, even though she's a spider at the moment, and you see that she's
More.
she's staring at him, waggling her eyebrows in the reflection.
But like, are her 2 eyes moving as much as all of her 8 eyes?
I'll say it's
So,
really
like,
spastic, kind of going opposite directions sometimes. It's a little disturbing to see. If you didn't know better, she'd be like possessed by a demon or something.
It's
Question, DM.
Yes.
I have been the one holding our main spooky necromancy orb for, I think, a day now.
one day.
Has
2 more until I
this-
get it back.
Yeah, one day. Has this affected my reflection?
Nope, not at all.
Great.
You just look suspicious, or suspicious of other people.
All of the above.
Yeah. On Braywood's back, you guys, flash at a Fulse.
Okay.
You see a very angry version of Fulse with pointed ears,
Like that.
gray pallid appearance, and very sharp teeth. And he just looks very, very hungry.
That's not very good.
Uncomfortable.
I drop him.
He flops to the ground.
Full say there's something right there, and Gwen's just gonna sort of just kick him to talk him out, like kick him to the side of the head.
It hurts.
You're a cleric!
Yeah, you're supposed to be nice to him. What the heck?
No, she's gonna stabilize him after she knocks
Yes,
him
I'm
down.
putting him in a medically induced coma. And
By kicking!
it was a well placed. Can she aim the kick specifically for the side of the head?
Sure, you're just kicking him around the temple. You know that's where his, that's the best place to hit him. Where once he was semi-conscious, he is very fully unconscious now. A few bruises in his head, very battered. Now he's beaten up and covered in dirt because you guys dropped him on the ground.
There, and now she's just gonna sort of sit by him and just stroke his head. Shh.
I scuttle backwards and eye him from a distance thoughtfully. And suspiciously.
We do know that would happen. We did know that would happen.
Well, if the woman was to be believed, then yeah.
That's
You,
true.
you see Arrow hold up his 50 feet of adventurer's rope and kind of motion to it.
Yeah, I think it's time to properly tie him up now. She does not
Yes.
say.
Someone will tie him up.
I love your self-portrait.
You guys start binding him up as well. Now it's very reminiscent of when he was wrapped up in mistletoe. It's very pathetic looking on his end, basically.
Oh, Arrow.
Arrow. So when you reflect, so after you guys finish tying him up, you guys peer into Arrow's reflection. You guys see that it seems to be, what looks to be a tiny tornado in a very big bottle, and the bottle is filled with a lot of empty space and a few dots.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I don't know if I can draw it, but basically, just imagine like
I think I heard you. Say it again.
vortex in a bottle.
Okay.
And the bottle is like pitch black, kind of like empty space, with a few specks of lights scattered around it.
Alright, what's my essence look like?
Your essence looks like a giant black hammer and a red anvil, and everyone sees that.
You're a warlock, John. Why do you look surprised?
Yeah.
Alright.
Kind of made a pact.
Wait, do I know about your pact?
Nope.
Okay, you know what? I stopped being a spider.
Braywood stops being a spider. She still has the exact same disapproving look.
She just puts her hands together, looks at the two casters here, the two arcane casters.
I want to point out, as you guys look into the empty space, that like a lot of empty space in Arrow's like essence. You also see Arrow kind of staring off cross-eyed, like bored.
I have several questions. Kytra, you look. How does Kytra look? Confused? Alarmed?
I'm like,
Angry?
No, I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. Fuck it, right? So whatever. So this thing just does whatever the fuck it wants.
Yes, we'll get back to that. Let's begin with Thumb.
No, we need to begin with, do we trust the lady? Because that's what came out here.
Well,
No,
she gave us correct information. I believe that she doesn't think that she's lying, but she may have an incorrect perception.
Sure.
If she grew up in this society, she's from here, isn't she?
Yeah, okay.
So she believes that their ways are acceptable. By that alone, I do not trust.
Yeah.
The things that she believes to be true might be true, but to our perspective might also be evil.
1 second, what specifically triggered us to come out here? Because there was a thing where, like, we wanted to talk about whether or not we wanted to tell her. What was that
The
thing?
mirror. The mirror.
No,
and
the orbs.
It was both, really.
Oh, yeah, okay, well,
She
okay.
was like, I want to see one of your orbs.
Okay, we should,
Yeah.
Like,
so do we show her the orbs? And
Oh, okay.
Here's the question: what do we stand to gain from her? Why are we here?
literally
Information.
any information at all.
Information, supplies, knowledge of humanoids here. Can we
And
go
what
back
does
to why some of us look normal and some of us do not?
Essence.
Yes, that's what's concerning to me.
No. The impertinent thing is, do we show her the orbs and do we tell her the mirror was
The
taken?
pertinent thing is, why are you a hammer?
The pertinent thing is that we have to go out back in there in like 10 seconds. We're gonna have to talk to her again.
Can we do the hammer thing later?
Yes.
Perhaps we can discuss essence.
Yeah, Kaitra.
So let's not show her a big orb, but let's show her a small orb.
Yes, let's not admit to possession of any powerful artifacts.
she's
Can we
gonna-
agree to that?
She's gonna want the giant orb.
Who has the brown one?
Did we use it already? I think we did.
I don't think we did.
We used it in the observatory, right?
No, but we didn't ditch it.
It's smaller, but I still have it.
Okay, we
Okay.
should
Yeah,
show her
I
that.
know.
one.
It might be out of juice.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
I think that would be better.
I
Show her
think
that
I
one.
went from brown to blue. Small
Aye.
little marble.
Right.
So
no, it's in order.
let's all agree on a ground rule. Don't let her know we have anything of substantial value.
She said she already knows we have more powerful.
Don't say anything
Oh.
about weird black stuff because we don't want to be down there.
Yes.
And I point to the
agree.
base.
And I also see no reason to not tell her that the mirror of it was taken, so...
Well, she could go obtain it herself, although she could go obtain it herself.
She can obtain it herself. But...
I don't care if she has it.
Huh?
I don't care if she has it.
Perhaps like a negotiation. We have information that is valuable to her. She has information that is valuable to us.
We can ask her why she's curious about it, but I think maybe we'll get more information if we show her the orb.
I want to point out, during this whole talk, you see Arrow slowly turning around to look at the door we literally just left and are like 10 feet outside of.
We're like whispering. We're not like
Yeah,
shouting.
But it's like loud whispering, you see Arrow just go, hmm.
Then yes, let's show her our small orbs, offer her the information in exchange for information of where the large mirror is kept.
What do we want to know from her?
Why she's
Orbs.
more about
About
orbs.
him.
Why she is still here,
She told that she's trying to bring her homeland back.
and how did she live?
I'm
that's
assuming
the,
she's living
negotiation.
from the power of the orb.
You got some good questions in you.
Say that again, Gwen.
The orbs contain life force, no? I'm sure one could use them to extend their own life. I doubt she's actually 40 years old.
Then that concerns me. Why has no one
no,
else
she's
done
50.
it? What makes her different and more powerful?
We should figure out how old she really is. Can we?
We should figure out how powerful she really is. That's how I would amend that. But yes, let's go in.
Okay.
All right, we go back in.
Alright.
I slam the door open.
Oh, you surprised me. And she's kind of like, well, the table's now missing, and she's been drawing on the ground, kind of like you guys know this to be actually, whoever has knowledge of magic can go ahead and roll an Arcana check for me.
You bet.
Me.
Ooh. Can I?
You can try.
I know fucking nothing.
Wait.
I know what magic is. Soul
We all-
has never cast a spell.
Oh, Arrow.
God bless Gwen.
Solely notices no magic.
Knowledge.
The opposite of magic. What a hard-working, physically fit person she is.
Wow.
As far as you guys, okay, people who have minor knowledge of magic know she's, setting up a ritual.
Oh, okay.
People who don't have any knowledge of magic, she's scribbling on the ground. Mish
Yeah, finger
realized
painting.
that she's laying the groundwork for like a teleportation spell of some sort, like kind of like a gate or something.
Cool.
On the ground.
Well, she needs to set up the foci basically, but she's drawing it on the ground.
We weren't gone for that long.
Guys,
We're
we
outside
should
for like 10
also-
minutes, looking at the stuff, tying him up, tying False up.
That's true.
You guys drag him in by the end of the rope.
Kind of offer him to her.
Also, now I'm not a spider anymore.
I guess we can
That's
offer
new.
her.
Yeah, we don't want him.
As Gwen steps over the ritual circle,
Fuck.
If he's just angry though.
Does it matter? He's a rage zombie. We've confirmed rage
We
zombie.
no, but we didn't though. We could have been like, hey, how were you captured? What were you doing? We confirmed fucking nothing. That said, we're back. Hi.
Hi, I was setting up my portal. How's your guys'
That's cool.
discussion?
Why are you setting up a portal?
Because
Where
I
are
must
you
return
going?
back to my
Going to the lab.
laboratory.
Alright.
So I think we agreed that somebody should tell her about an orb.
How often do you pass back and forth?
Pretty often. I have a primary lab that I can travel to with relative ease. I just need to set up the ritual every time I need to go. It's very simple.
And you're studying this disease in your lab?
Yes. And as well as a myriad of other things. It is also my armory, my treasury, whatever I need, my greenhouse, my living
Is that-
quarters. You don't think I live here, do you?
Is that the
I
reason
did.
you've been able to survive here when no one else has?
And she kind of like pauses for a moment and then resumes drawing. You could say that, yes.
Huh.
Can other people go to your lab?
Yes, I intended to bring you guys along so that we could have a more comfortable place to discuss
I
the
guess-
business.
My question is, how come you didn't bring other people around?
Survivors,
Yeah.
rescue,
Do
refugees.
you not have? It seems to me that you live alone. Is that true?
Yes, and you look at her. She looks very tired. Like, in sense, like she's got deep wrinkles underneath her eyes. Like, not so much tired or exhausted. As kind of like it's been a very long series of events, more like. You know, like the stress bags,
I'm
basically.
gonna find some more pictures of Lucretia from the Adventure Zone.
And she says, there were no other survivors that I could save.
Wait, hold on a minute. Weren't you like talking about how everyone fled to different places and then wait, hold on.
Yes, those who could flee have already done so. They were escorted by powerful knights of our orders, some of our greatest soldiers. My dear friend was also one of the ones leading the expedition, or not the expedition, the caravan to the safety.
And
Wait, I didn't follow any of that.
why did no one else stay?
Some of them did stay, and they are also operating in these vast lands. But they all have their missions, and I have mine. But
How long ago was this?
it is hard to keep track of after so many years.
More than 40, I'm sure.
More than 40, yes.
How have you stayed alive so long? Humans do not live that long.
That is a secret I am not willing to divulge at this time. You clearly do not put the same amount of trust in me that I have placed in you.
Tell us. Well, if that's what
I
we care
think-
about.
Sorry,
If that's what we care about, knowing why she's still alive. That was out of character.
I think it's related to what Braywood wants to know about. I think we are new to these lands. We need information if we are to survive.
You are
I
not the first
do-
adventurers I've met, but you are the most amicable.
Oh,
Others, have, they've been like Mr. Conqueror over there, very uppity. The last time I divulged information about potential longevity, they of course wanted it for themselves.
They what?
And they wanted to steal her immortality.
Ah.
It sounds as though no other newcomers to these parts have survived.
Some have survived. Some I observed from a distance. Some of them were very clearly bad news. Some of them, much like you, fell from the sky. Some of them did not survive the impact. Very tragic.
Is there a reason you don't collaborate with the other scientists?
I do. Every so many moons, I meet up with them and we should discuss our findings.
Well, we would like to hear about your findings, and though we don't know much in this place, we could tell you what we know about the mirror of whatever it was.
The mirror of it.
and we can show you
Orbs,
And
yes.
I
Again,
lean-
the orbs are very, very common here. And she pulls out from her pouch a bright green one.
Oh,
This one, you see, contains the essence of the lands and uses the natural life force of the ground beneath us.
So Braywood does that Miyazaki thing
so
where
that-
like all your hair stands on end. You like anime bristle. Like her eyes light up, and she's like,
It's a wasteland around the house.
yeah. Can I Arcana check real quick to see how much I understand of this object she's holding?
Go for it. I'll say it's a pretty difficult check.
21.
Because of your natural affinity, what you know about the orbs and what you know about nature is that this one definitely looks like it's sapping energy around the area. You can tell that it's very powerful. Probably is, actively sucking energy at the moment.
So what happens is this Miyazaki full body bristle goes through Braywood, and you see she has dark skin and pale hair, right, and pale freckles.
Mhm.
You see the freckles light up with a kind of creepy blue tinted bioluminescence that comes from within her. And spores start to fill the air around her body.
Oh dear.
No zombies, no zombies.
This fire of fucking
We've got a sanctuary.
druidic rage begins to burn in her eyes.
It's not gonna work. There's a sanctuary.
Let her do it.
There's a sanctuary. You're just gonna get kicked out the door.
No, let her do it.
And she looks
It's not going to work.
She looks at the orb, she takes up her staff, steps forward,
boy.
with the most aggressive body language. She is about to attack, even though she will completely die, and says, "This thing is unholy."
I'm sorry? She looks she looks very, very, very visually confused. But the moment she sees Braywood brandish her staff, she sticks her hand behind her back.
That thing is draining the life out of this entire world. It's the reason things are dead here.
I don't think you quite understand how these orbs work.
I understand what I see. That is nature. You've put it in a tiny box and you're putting it in there still.
What is the difference between using it as a power source for arcane energies as opposed to eating it and using it for physical energy? We were the ones who sowed these forests. We were the ones who had originally transformed these wastelands. Is it not appropriate that we as the gardeners and caretakers be allowed to use the energy as we so freely choose?
You have helped raise children and now you're killing them and see nothing wrong with that.
What exactly do you consume for food?
I exist as part of an ecosystem. This is not natural. And she's very clearly, someone's gonna have to grab her because she's like, her spore ability is about to kick in, and anyone standing within, I think it's either 5 or 10 feet, is going to take damage.
I move.
I could actually sort of like be like, okay, Braywood, hold on.
You
Hold
do
on.
that, I stand in front of the lady.
Braywood, I think it's outside time.
Hang on. Let me check my spores ability and see just how many people are about to take damage from this. Halo of spores. 3 poison damage to one creature within 10 feet of you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Before you do that, Gwen's just gonna sort of step forward, put a hand on Braywood's shoulder, and be like, "Perhaps this is not the way to achieve your goal."
And the air around Braywood has this choking, musty, like, fungus taste to it.
Ooh.
Oh.
This is weird.
You attack her, you aim.
Please, calm your friend. I'm sure you have seen some eccentricities in your time, but I assure you that what I do has been very normal in our times. This is the least.
What you do is horrific.
Would
And
you prefer
she's
we use
about...
orbs made of other people?
Yeah, Braywood's about to get sanctuaried because she
Alright.
uses her reaction to do 3 damage.
Okay, so before you do that, Braywood, can I have you make a really quick wisdom?
Wisdom save? Sure.
Are you
Please
casting a
recall
spell?
emotions.
I don't have calm emotions, but this is the closest I got.
Alright.
Wisdom
Let me triple
save.
check the rules of
Is that
Sanctuary real quick,
right?
because I feel like it's all getting woozy now. Alright, let's see.
Okay,
Alright,
sweet.
Well, Braywood's more upset about this than she is about turning people into balls.
Alright, so I'm going to give you a small suggestion, which is to take a deep breath and think about what you're doing, and maybe not cast a spell on the dubiously powerful old lady.
This gives me
Potentially dangerous old lady.
versus the future.
What's your DC?
My DC.
If it's worse than 12, I'm gonna be real sad.
It's 14.
Okay, thank God. So, the smell of fungus and rot and forest is like chokingly strong, but then it subsides just a little bit as Greywood takes sort of a shuddering breath inwards, and the spores around her rise and fall with her breath, and she sort of stands down a little bit.
Yeah, a bit.
I just want to point out that suggestion, the spell and compulsion ends after you complete what was said.
That's okay, because the breathing is what's important.
Am I aware that a spell was cast on me?
Yes.
Yeah, well, at the end of suggestion.
I
One
was not
action
trying
is
to hide.
verbal and motion.
I shoot Gwen a furious look, but Gwen is the only other person who looked normal in the mirror, so I'm going to... She's the only one who actually could have controlled Braywood right now, so Braywood stands down.
There. Good job, little one, and you will get a pat from.
You got a pet.
Braywood throws her off with an irritable shake of the staff and says, I cannot abide this. I don't think the rest of you understand, because I don't think you have the type of sense that I have. I can feel what she's done to this place. It's like thousands of innocent creatures. It's like an entire being.
This has nothing to do with
continuously
feeling.
being slaughtered.
So I'm gonna. So I'm gonna sort of like act surprised, look at her and be like, "Damn, is that right?" Look at the lady we've been talking to. Yeah.
She looks incredibly wary now. She's definitely on edge. She keeps her one of her left hand behind her back, basically, as if she's grabbing something, clutching up, hiding behind her, and she says, "Control your friend, or I will ask you kindly to leave."
Kytra, this woman is pure evil. She is currently doing the thing that was done to all those people.
Wait, I put my hand on her shoulder, the old lady's, because I was standing in front of her to try to protect her. I pat it cautiously, hoping that my gesture isn't seen as I'm gonna slap the shit out of her or something. I'm sorry, our friend, I think she's a druid, and so, I don't really, when I walk around, I don't really see a flower as oh no, I'm stepping on somebody. You know what I mean? It's sort of like...
Sully, you exist within an ecosystem. It's understandable that there's give and take. Death is normal. This is not normal. This is actively doing what your people experience. The ones inside you. It's happening right now.
It's calm time. It's calm time. Hey, it's calm time.
Almost my fist.
You see Arrow kind of gesture around to the area and go, "This is not normal."
Okay, cool. Braywood, can you stand slightly a few feet back? Several of them. It's okay. We're good.
Out of character, she
Figure it out.
clarifying. She says your people to Sully. She doesn't say inside of you because she's not dumb. Braywood does not step back, but she does instead of leaning aggressively forward, she sort of forces herself a little bit more.
So what's her name? The witch?
Eiza.
So Eiza, that's pretty dramatic. Is any of that right? Just be clear. Is any of that right?
I'm sorry. What are you trying to say?
Just to clarify, the orb is sucking the energy out of the land around you, which you use to stay.
Yeah. Is any of that actually right?
We trap the essence of specific plants that we use in our grand ritual, in order to harness the energies within the plants. And of course, we are the ones who nurture and grow the plants for this specific purpose. This area.
Are the plants?
Yes, go on.
Are the plants by any chance mistletoe?
How did you know?
I know a lot about mistletoe.
But yes, we use mistletoe. It is a very good arcane foci for energy, as well as for our intended purposes.
So, like, hypothetical question. If one day the mistletoe sort of stood up, got really, really angry, and decided it didn't want this happening to it anymore, hypothetical, like, what would you do?
We'd probably use another plant.
Hmm.
It's just that mistletoe is the most effective by far, and of course, it is merely just a plant.
I have a question out of character.
Sure.
To clarify my Arcana check, I felt that like this whole area, like the small green orb she has, that feels connected to like this place, right? And maybe connected to the whisper that I potentially received a while back.
Yeah. Very, very suck sounding. You know, SUC.
Great.
Yeah.
Can we?
So is she straight up lying about it only being one plant? Because the whole Earth over here is fucking dead.
Can we
I didn't know
insight
it was
what she
before.
said about
No,
just using
it's
mistletoe?
not in character. Like, I wouldn't know that.
I'm too angry to insight. Someone else is gonna have to do
Yeah,
it.
can I insight her you saying it was just mistletoe?
Sure. Mistletoe, a few other reagents, but for the vast majority of it, it is mistletoe.
What does a 24 get us?
Glenn, ask them why is the entire Earth around here dead?
Yes, as the voice in my head just reminded me.
Woo! You should
is
pick the
just-
person next to you.
If it is just mistletoe that you are drawing this from, why? And then Gwen will gesture to the ground. This.
Mistletoe is a parasitic plant. It only grows off sucking the life force of other trees and plants.
Well, it doesn't
Surely you would
kill
know
them in the
this as a
process.
scholar.
I mean, yes, and as a scholar, it doesn't leave this kind of result. It would leave us slightly sickly, but still have. There is no trick.
Yes, when we form the orb, again, we cannot differentiate the essence that goes in. So, primarily by using mistletoe as as the foci and surrounding plants as reagents, we can process it and purify it into pure arcane energy. Why it turns green? Who knows? Maybe it's the chlorophyll. But all other orbs have different taints. You can tell from the color of the orb as to their original purpose and where they were formed from.
How so?
So, like, what would a brown one be made of?
A brown one is merely just an extension of this green one. For instance, brown. As far as I'm aware, there are only 4 types of orbs in existence. The brown ones are basically near the end result of all the orbs being consumed and used up for their intended purposes, and they do hold a very strong charge, but quickly fade away to blue once their energy is taken up. The brown ones are almost always formed from these bright green orbs. As these fade away in time, much like the coming of winter, so too do these orbs fade away to dirt brown.
I have a quick out of character.
Sure.
Did we get a chance to take a short rest while we were conferring for 10 minutes outside?
No, I think a short rest is 1 hour.
Short rest is
Oh,
an
short rest is
hour.
an hour? Okay. I forgot that we were still, like, severely low on health. Would the healer have been able to, like, bop me on the head?
I don't think we're low on health, right? We didn't do anything.
Oh, I'm very low on health.
What happened to you last time?
15, so maybe outside you could have.
Oh, yes, because you're in your humanoid form now, and I couldn't heal you before because you were a spy.
Correct.
I mean, if you want, just while they're talking, Gwen can just sort of, like, hip
Yeah.
check you with the
No,
horse.
this would definitely have had to be while we were outside taking our whole like consulting moment, because right now Greywood is still lit up in her battle form and is not taking her eyes off this woman and the green orb. Like that's not going to happen.
We could ask if that can be done retroactively.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
If it makes sense for your characters to have done so, certainly.
Because, yeah, I forgot that my health was at, like, way worse than half.
Give me like a few seconds to code that in then.
I was like, oh, it's a session. We're starting back from full. No, we're not.
Nope, we ended our session on a chase.
So,
Just because I'm the most
you
like
wanted to
dumb.
see, proof of what we were saying, right? To be able to trust us fully,
Yes.
even though there's some small, hiccups.
Exactly. I was going to bring you to my base of operations, but upon seeing your friend's reaction here, I do not know. I would fear for the very safety of my base. While you may be the first friendly face I've seen in some time, I do not trust you as of this moment with the knowledge and all the hereto availabilities of my facilities.
I do not want to be in any kind of place where this object is created.
There.
Is farming evil, as Arrow has to say multiple words from various voices.
What does
Is farming evil?
as a question? Is there a question mark?
Yeah, that's the question mark. Mm-hmm.
No, because that is part of a natural cycle of give and take within an ecosystem. This is not that. This is much like necromancy.
I mean, yeah, you're right about the necromancy, but is farming natural?
It's not a naturally created ecosystem, but it's one that maintains balance and harmony. The people are We can go into this later, Taitra.
I that was out of character. I said several times.
Oh, okay.
I said it like
farming is completely in character.
I said it like 3 times, but...
And out of character, what I was trying to convey was just like, they planted the mistletoe and all the other plants to begin with, and then they harvested them. Kind of like farming, but a lot more sucky. And a lot more...
Yeah, that's what Arrow was saying.
Yeah, and with a lot more collateral damage.
Wasn't
in
this
character, Arrow was saying, is farming evil?
Wasn't this whole area a forest at some point, though?
Yeah, it's like in the middle of there's like a giant desolate area, and then a giant forest on the outskirts, basically.
So basically it was a giant forest, and then a hole got burned into it by this practice.
Pretty much, yeah. But as before, she did say, I'm pretty sure I said this, that they were the ones who planted the forest to begin with. They're the ones who sowed the seeds of the forest. I'm pretty sure I said that. I'm pretty sure.
Well, you've got a point, but if this is a universe where, like, the Earth is literally alive, no murder.
I mean,
Braywood?
Arrow is not that smart. He just goes, is farming evil?
Braywood looks at Arrow and says, I don't know about the rest of you, but when I entered this place, I felt something and saw something that I have never felt or seen before. This world is alive in a way that I do not know our world to be alive. This is something different, and they are keeping it in suffering to use it.
You are saying the Earth itself is sentient?
Yes.
And dying.
And dying, continuously.
Sentient is a strong word.
So is dying.
yeah,
Alright. I want to
Regardless,
do something dumb with my last first level spell slot.
Do it.
Excellent. Also, one last thing before you do. Braywood looks directly at Gwen, because Gwen is currently Braywood's concept of a stable, trustworthy person, and says, this is very much like necromancy.
Gwen seems to like tilt her head.
You are a cleric, correct?
Yes, and I am considering this. From my knowledge, this is a spell that sucks the life out of the earth in order to channel that life to someone else. I would not put it like necromancy. I would not put it unlike necromancy either. I'm not sure I agree with it, but I'm not sure. I think there is something we don't know.
What do you believe that to be? Because I know that this place is alive, more alive than the world you grew up in, more aware than the world you grew up in, and she is using it specifically for her own gain.
As I said, I do not agree with it. but I'm trying to figure out what it is causing all this, what created this, what's going.
And Braywood will actually let the form she's in subside. Sort of the unearthly glow goes down, the scent of fungus goes down, and she resumes looking normal. And she says, I feel that I am, to put it one way, committing a sin by standing by and seeing this be done. But I understand the situation.
Well, consider it this way. Suppose what she is doing is a sin in the definition of all evil. You attack her right now. Perhaps you kill her, perhaps you stop her from casting this spell. You just not stop whatever it is that is going on here from going on. We talk to her, we gain knowledge, we might be able to, on a bigger picture, stop this. What is more important, the short-term satisfaction of punching an old woman in the face or the long-term satisfaction of helping the earth?
I don't care about the old woman. I wanted to break the orb, but I do understand that we don't understand enough. So I will stand down. And she makes eye contact with the witch, which is just what she thinks of this woman as now, and says, I will not apologize for my aggressive behavior because the thing you are doing goes against everything I have lived my life to see. But I mean you no immediate harm.
No.
Eiza's eyebrows shoot up a little bit, kind of like snorts a little bit. If you say so. One sip though. Lost voice a little bit. One sip though. Never break the orbs. Nothing good will come.
Never break the orbs?
Never break the
Great.
orbs.
Great.
Why?
Great.
All that energy condensed into one place. Shattered in one split moment. Like the splitting of metaphorical atom would not be a good idea. Even I, to this moment, would not know the full effects of shattering one.
So it's never been done.
I have personally never seen it. I've heard tales of them exploding and taking out countless civilian lives.
Everyone's looking at Emily.
Yeah.
Sully has the 1,000-yard stare, looks off in the distance, like
Car boils within his essence.
Everyone looks at Sully, you see Arrow very late, turns to look at Sully as well.
No, don't all. Don't look at Sully. We're not.
Everyone immediately glances at Sully and roll.
Wait, roll. Can there be a save to not look at me?
It's pretty instinctual. Everyone can roll a wisdom check, real quick.
What now? Wisdom?
Wisdom check, and I'm gonna roll an insight check as all this or perception.
That one!
Fuck!
Oh,
We're going to
shame,
save the
hold on.
majority of
Yeah,
people.
is it a check or a saving throw? Because y'all are doing saving.
Yeah, saving throws.
Oh, okay. Saving throws, go.
Saving throw.
That one, because I'm too mad.
23! I just don't
You just don't even look.
even react.
Wait, I'm gonna roll a bluff check to stare off into the distance.
Arrow as well, please.
Oh no, Arrow's just going to look if everyone else does, because Arrow doesn't know the context of the situation.
They don't. It's just
Yeah.
Braywood looks.
I pose in the distance and sort of look off, like leaning against the
I wouldn't say it's a sleight of hand check. I would say it's more of a
Deception, there you go.
check. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So the moment that Eiza says, "Don't break the orbs," Braywood and Arrow immediately just glance at. Oh no!
No, I don't think Arrow does.
Yeah, Braywood immediately glances in the
Arrow
direction.
like what copy what the majority does.
Yeah.
A very obvious glance to the side, and then Sully kind of mentally stumbles a little bit. You see that is a little shook up.
Then Arrow does look at Sully because that's double fail for a crit fail plus one more fail.
Sweet!
3 versus 2.
And
So
then,
you see Arrow also look at Sully very late and confused, but since we're all doing it.
Since we're all doing it.
Kofi glance at Sully look away. Arrow looks at Sully. Why are you looking at Sully?
No.
Eiza glances at, Eiza's eyebrows narrow again. She's like, It seems you guys have a lot more to share than I had originally assumed. I'll tell you what, if you do not trust me, that is fine. You can just be on your way. You don't even have to take my refreshments that I would give you. You can just be on your way to whatever it is you are here in these lands to do.
So, like,
However, if you wish to know about these lands, about what has transpired, you will come with me under the oath that you will not harm me nor the lab in any way, shape, or form.
Does this oath go both ways? You will not harm us nor prevent us from leaving?
I will not harm you, nor will I prevent you from leaving, unless you give me a very, very powerful reason for me to do so. I have shown nothing but trust to you guys.
all right, well then, I give you the oath that
You test
In
my
that case-
trust many times.
I give you the oath that I will not hurt you unless you give me a very, very powerful reason to do so.
Braywood rolls insight on the lady, not preventing them from leaving.
She's not gonna prevent you from leaving unless, like, you do something crazy, like, I don't know, stab her, fill the air with spores and try to choke her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that just kind of passively happens when she's in her spore form.
And I will say this: one of you must take care of your friend here and restrain her if necessary. I need one specific person to do so.
I
Okay?
point at Gwen.
Yeah.
You will have to restrain her and prevent her from hurting anything. Okay?
I will allow the cleric to call the shots on this.
Alright. Gun will just sort of make eye contact with Braywood, nod, and then say, in that case, I too give my word. I will not allow anyone here to come to harm, be that my party members, yourself, or the lab. This
Yeah.
promise is neutral, goes all ways, and anyone has to go through me before they harm anyone else in this room.
Okay. Okay. I will take your word for it, Miss Cleric, because I don't think you ever introduced yourself.
My name is Gwen.
Very well, Gwen. You shall control your party members. Come, come, come. And with a flick of her wrist, she opens up the magical gate in front of you guys. It just appears into thin air. It's just like, it's kind of a semi-translucent portal. You can kind of see what looks to be an entryway on the opposite side. Please, step in. And then with, to show that it's safe, she kind of sticks her hand in and out, like, to show that there's like a two-way travel. And then she steps through the portal, and you can see a hazy image of her motioning for you guys to follow on the opposite side.
All right, I step to the portal.
I do whatever Gwen does.
Arrow walks
Step
straight
through the
through.
portal.
Zoop, 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 zoop.
Really quick, before we step away, what is Fulsa? What's happening with Fulsa?
You
still,
guys
like,
left her on the
knocked out?
ground, and it looks like the person doesn't have
I
to
carry him.
He's tied up at the moment, very woozy. Are you guys going to be taking care of the Mr. Conqueror from now on, or should I retain custody?
Of the what?
He said that whatever you were doing to him was very, very... That concerns me.
I will not lie to you. He was aggressive. There's a reason he was tied up in mistletoe, but it seems that you guys have figured out the set as much, seeing as how you tied him up yourself. It is not a risk I willingly take to hold him here without any restraints.
Well,
Is there a reason that you put him in restraints that cause immense pain?
As far as I know, mistletoe should not put him in intense pain. It could be a byproduct of the Rage Walker virus. Let's just call it the Rage virus from now on, just rip off 20 years later.
No, hold on. He's not in intense pain right now.
He's not in intense
Arrow
pain right
points
now.
at the trapdoor.
Yes, he...
Points at Pulse.
Mistletoe is both a magical focus as well as a magic suppressant when grown as such, when cultivated as such. The natural affinity for magic can certainly lead to some interesting results, such as suppressing his energies. It's possible that this rage virus is magical in nature, and the sucking away of that energy can cause him pain. However, I do not see any other way of restraining him in the safety of my lab. And I'm sure you've seen that the Rage Walkers are highly aggressive. And can
I
break
mean,
down
the
doors.
rope seems to be doing a fine job.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
not attached to this guy.
He is also unconscious. Yes. I will say this, though.
Serious?
If you wish to retain custody, you may feel free to take him wherever you please.
I'm mostly curious why you weren't aware of the extreme pain side effect if you've been doing research on this for months or decades.
That's a good
Most
point.
of the patients that come my way are already infected with the rage virus. It is not often or common at all for someone to be so it's called lucid at the very
And
onset. He is at the
think
very
that
onset.
was interesting to study.
I'm sorry?
You didn't think that was interesting to study? It seemed more worthy of being thrown in a dungeon of pain.
Aside from this task, I have many other tasks to have been delegated. All my other research, as well as the notes I have from the scientists that were researching this to begin with, did not seem as though it would have led to anything fruitful. I have other tasks and dire situations to dismantle before I can tackle this case in full. And I hope you guys can help me with this.
Okay.
Help.
In what sort of help way?
I have a variety of tasks I need assistance with. Of course, one of them is resolving this rage virus and trying to figure out exactly how it starts, where it originates from, and how exactly we can prevent it and eventually potentially reverse it. Additionally, here, come. Let me show you the lab. So you guys are a bit of a small entryway. It's kind of.
Wait, what do we do? Full say.
Full say. Oh yeah, he's still there. You guys are at the entryway still. Again,
Because I'm
if
fine.
you wish to take him with us, I am perfectly capable of restraining him if need be. Or would you rather just leave him out there? I don't know if he'll wake up in any time. He seems very battered.
I mean, I have no attachment to this guy, but like, I'm not gonna brave the army of zombies.
I look at the cleric, who's presumably the most altruistic to humans person here.
Altruistic is a strong word after kicking him in the temple.
She's kind of. So the army of zombies are down the trap door.
Yep.
Does it look like they're getting up here?
Well, that's why she had Sully move a bookcase over the
Yeah.
door.
Then he should be fine in here for... I don't expect us to be gone for very long. I think he should be alright. I don't think we should leave him here forever, but an hour won't kill him. We'll give him a chance to short rest anyways.
Okay.
That's true.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Fairwood nods.
And Eiza also nods. Come. You guys pass through this entryway, and immediately you guys are filled with a very awe-inspiring sight.
Pause. Wait for Ash to come back. She's in the bedroom.
Okay, sure.
We got you.
All right.
Don't
Now,
worry, I just had to pee.
now you may continue with the great explain.
Grandeur. All right. So Grandeur. So
We are fantasy, bro.
this it looks to be the moment you enter, you guys are awe-inspired by these marble walls, pristine. They extend quite far out, and it's like a giant arched building. It seems as though it's just one entire room, maybe like with a small stall to the bathroom to the side. But for the most part, it seems like there's like segments of this building. Let me just draw it out real quick. Like the general gist of it. Where's the eyebrow? Okay. Get the pencil here. Sure. And then it's like, wait, how do I make it less big?
Where are you drawing?
In Agario, give me one sec. Aji, let me see. So it's like, and then there's like segments, kind of like this. And you guys are on like almost like a path that goes just like from one end to the other. So this is all like top down basically. And you guys came from like over here.
Wait, where is this?
It's the top
Where?
right of the Agario. Or Agi.
Of Agi?
Yeah, do you guys see it at all? It's like
No, I don't see anything in Aggie.
Let me try.
Oh wait,
it
are
says-
you in
It's on the top right. You have to kind of zoom out a little bit.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. The square at the bottom is like where you guys just entered from. It's just like a very large dome thing. If you guys have seen aircraft hangars, it's kind of like a really big one like that, and segmented off a little bit.
Server will be undergoing updates and maintenance soon.
Yeah. So the walls
Wait.
are pristine marble. The
Cool.
segmenting is like panels of glass with each compartment. To your guys' immediate right is like what looks to be a giant library of sorts, or like a mini, or the books go to the ceiling. There's a ladder, the trolley thing that lets you like go around to like pick up the books from like the very top, along with a small sitting area. To the left looks to be a variety of greenhouses. It looks like some small patches, like in various states of growth, looks to be mistletoe and a couple other bushes. You see, it's like about 4 plots of it. One like growing, like one just sown, another one growing a little more, third one almost fully grown, and a fourth one has what looks to be a pedestal with a small orb. That's it doesn't look like there's anything like physically coming out, but it seems like a small barren patch on the isolated soil is like forming. So it looks to be like the formation center of another orb.
Great.
Wait, which room?
I'll say like to the immediate left. It's basically just like small compartments. It's like very small. Like these patches are like 5 feet by 5 feet, more like, and there's like about 4 of them.
Sorry, could you repeat? Like, is an orb actively being formed, or is this just like a room where they would make one?
Room where it seems like there's something might coalesce in the center, yeah. But there is a small barren patch forming around the pedestal at the moment. Like
Braywood looks. Yeah. Braywood looks kind of queasy, but just hangs back, tense.
She motions you guys further on. You guys just see a variety of things. You see what looks to be a metal box, a very large one, like almost an independent room, sitting in another compartment. You just see a nice little area with beds and chairs, and that's where she motions you to sit. Come, take a seat.
All right, I go take a seat.
Yeah.
Wait, are they creepy benches and chairs, or are they just like chairs?
They're just like the exact same armchairs, like squishy ones that she had pulled out for a patch from.
Yeah, there I go, sit in it.
Arrow sits in a squishy one. Kind of sinks in until you see no bird.
A little bit.
Check for.
Check for traps.
It's
don't
actually
It's so
there's a
comfy.
trap of comfort there.
Oh
the longer
no!
you sit in there, the more comfort you get, and you don't want to.
Oh dear.
Okay, so I figured it out. So
Yeah.
Gwen kind of rears up on her hind legs and then just sort of rests her forelegs and torso onto the couch while her hind legs are still standing, like, off to the...
Ew!
So wait, okay, so like you're just sort of wait.
You only see the front half of it.
No, like, okay, so if you look from the front, all you see is basically almost like a satyr. Like, you see top half human, bottom half legs sitting on top of the couch. But if you look from the side, there's also, like, a horse butt off to the...
Oh, I think I get it.
Okay.
No, I don't get it.
Okay.
I'll say there's a longer couch if you want to sit down on it too.
No, I figured it out. It's great. It's totally...
So much centaur accessibility.
So, as long as the couch doesn't have arms, it's fine.
I think it has arms.
Are you drawing this right now?
I'm literally just drew it. I'm taking a picture with my phone and I'm uploading it as we speak to the Discord.
Okay, because I'm watching someone else draw it in the IO, and it is not a flattering picture.
Oh, this isn't supposed to be dignified at all.
Yeah, that's the modus operandi, I think. Okay, so
I like this one.
yeah.
Okay, that is not what I was imagining at all, but I like that.
That's about what I was imagining.
Yeah, I was just like, is it a really long couch she's sitting on?
That's what I was picturing.
Oh, ew.
Where's the picture?
I don't know. I think we sent it separately.
Okay, I'll just say you smush down like the armrests while you're in that pose. Oh god, it's very weird. Okay,
I do not apologize for any trauma I may have caused just now, in or out of...
Okay, can we see?
You were seeing it.
okay.
Oh! So you're like... Okay.
You're a cool kid going backwards.
I get it. So you're like... I see!
The heart is on your butt now.
What?
You have a cutie mark.
What?
Oh,
I like the drawing here. the backwards thing. That's actually pretty good.
That does not look comfortable.
You know what? There's some things just are surprisingly more comfortable than they look. This is one of them.
Okay, well, while everyone's watching Gwen with fascination as she's arranging herself on the couch.
I am fascinated.
And so Eiza goes, I am going to tell you a bit about about our empire.
Got it.
And I will show you something, and you guys must swear to me that you will not do anything crazy, okay?
I look at Braywood.
I swear I will not do anything crazy, unless you give me a powerful reason to do so.
Okay.
The same from me.
Our empire is known as the First Empire.
Tom, can I probably promise?
Why is your empire known as the First Empire?
Hold on, just let her talk. It's exposition time, possibly.
Our empire is known as the First Empire. It is just a name that is very pompous, but it has stood for quite some time. Ever since recorded memory has been in existence, the First Empire has existed. Definitely, there was civilization before written word was invented. But for intents and purposes, the First Empire was the first modern civilization.
Were there empires before writing?
Yeah, of course.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
From what we know of the ancient days, was that they had developed a magic known as grand rituals.
Ooh.
Much like the magic that everyone uses, or at least we used before. This magic was a form of ritual, in which case we could do almost anything as long as we had the creativity, materials, and time to make. For example, these orbs are created with a grand ritual. They are formed using arcane energies, an algorithm and a formula to them, and it's very structured and very straightforward. This magic is very complex, so those who still know it, such as me, are few and far between amongst the other sentient beings in this land. You know, the Fae and such do not possess such knowledge. This was formulated entirely by the First Empire.
So if we kill everyone who knows how to make them...
So sad.
No, that was not in character.
She's not quite that dumb.
The magic was discovered, and quickly our civilization blossomed, and the development technology has rapidly increased. We had vehicles that moved with these objects. Initially, yes, there were some apprehensive about using other beings as energy sources, which is why we developed using plants as our main energy source. Diesel. But of course, there's other various ways we've managed to trap storms within ores themselves, as well as other various natural phenomena. Those are also incredibly powerful, but they are formed from a different process, which I know very little about.
Oh my god, it's the Dragon Prince.
The Dragon Prince?
Never watched.
What?
Haven't seen it yet.
Never mind.
I'm not back to here. No worries, guys.
We're going to need to talk out of character what we actually want to accomplish.
The Civil War began as people wanted to take individual fiefdoms for themselves. The empire was ruled by a hierarchy of rulers and emperors, but with each passing generation, their power diminished as nobles wanted more and more power for themselves. Eventually, our empire splintered, and all-out war was waged with every faction for themselves. I was part of a royal group of scientists who were devoted for the betterment of our people, and to this day that is still what I aim to accomplish. Our orbs, they come in only 4 varieties. We have the generic bright green ones in which they originate, which slowly fade over time into a dull brown. which are powered by the life force of plants. We have our white orbs. They start white and slowly fade to black. These are the orbs that are created with humanoid figures and with sentient beings within. And we have
Cool.
our third orb of the three common orbs. They start dull, and over time, we haven't fully seen one fade or change in demeanor, but it is hypothesized that these orbs, which contain natural phenomena such as volcanic explosions, lightning strikes, storms, tidal waves, all these have a very high threshold for energy storage, and it is hypothesized that they could be one of the most efficient energy sources if we were to harness it correctly. And finally, we have what we call the golden orbs. These are some orbs that are formed in a process that I do not personally know. Those who formulated these golden orbs are either hiding in the shadows still, biding their time, or perhaps they're already all long dead. Because these orbs are formed from a most heinous ritual, as far as they are rumored.
Oh, she thinks it's heinous. All right.
All I know is that these orbs are profane, and they must be safeguarded, for they are immensely powerful and hypothesized to be able to grant one's greatest desires, if within one's possession and able to be utilized. And then she motions to the giant metal box that's across from you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Is that one of them?
I'm sure you can hypothesize as to what I store in there.
Cool. All right, she's got a golden orb.
Kill it.
I'm not gonna take it.
I must let you know that one of my primary purposes, what I spend most of my time, my resources devoted to, is trying to gather these golden orbs and store them away forevermore for safekeeping, because this is a power that is far beyond mortal beings, and even some immortal beings. This is a power that transcends, I would say, planes of existence.
Ooh, damn.
And that is why I keep it there. And if you ever try to go in there or break into it, we will not have a happy discussion.
Cool. So, question: you said that you guys only use plant-based orbs, right?
Primarily, yes.
All right. Okay.
Why the hesitation?
Well, you see, because hold on. Should I talk about the lighthouse?
Sure. I don't see why not. The lighthouse is right there.
Yeah.
They mentioned that she was there.
So, like, when we were coming to this place from where we come from, which is far away and really hard to describe exactly where it is, mostly because we don't know, we found a lighthouse. And it had a really, really, really big white orb. So that's a lot of people, and that doesn't sound like primarily plants to me, so what happened there?
You say that you found a giant white orb?
Oh, it was big.
It was big.
Yeah.
Like,
Errol will motion with his arms just how big.
like pretty much like taller than I am.
That is extremely discerning, or very
Yeah,
concerning,
it's
and
pretty
disconcerting.
disconcerting.
Because usually when we craft orbs made of humanoids, we use barely a few, maybe 2 or 3 at a time. They're usually about the size of a small marble.
Yeah, no, this was not a small marble.
I will have to go investigate. Where did you say this was?
You see, here's the problem. The way back's been destroyed.
The way back
So I'm not even really sure how to describe where it was.
Where exactly did you guys come from?
We're not really sure how it fits in relation to here. In my impression, it is a different world.
So we came through a thing called the Philosopher's Dilemma. There was like a door that teleported us to an ice plane, and then we found a bunch of ruins that we sung to, and then there was a lighthouse.
We're not.
So like, I don't even really know.
To clarify, I believe we came from the place your refugees tried to flee.
Successfully fleed to if we came there from there.
And it is a different world. This place we are in now is alive in a way our place is not. I think in some way we are on a different plane from where we come from.
Most interesting. I will have to investigate further. But you say that it was a lighthouse and it was in a block of ice or something?
It was.
Okay, but like, important question. Like, you do agree that a giant orb made of a whole bunch of people is pretty fucked up, right? Like, this is we're all on the same plane here.
Don't recall us even having the capabilities of forming such a large one.
But like,
But the question.
you think that that's not a good thing that should exist, right? Like, that's pretty fucked up.
I think the only ones who know how to make these rich or to form these.
Okay, no, we're not talking about how to make it. We're talking about, is that kind of fucked up?
The intents. It's possible that they gave up their lives. It's possible they're willing or unwilling.
Yeah, okay, like, assuming they were unwilling.
Assuming they were unwilling, it is very fucked up, yes. It is very fucked up.
Okay, cool.
But
That's what I wanted to hear.
And then Arrow pipes up, they were unwilling.
Okay, I think we can at least start to get along now.
out of character, you guys never fully investigated the super big orb in the sense that, like, you know that
No,
it
we did not.
existed,
Yeah,
and
we
you
don't
just
know
saw
if
the
they were
ruins
willing
and
or not.
shit. Yeah.
Oh, you're not talking about. Okay.
You were
I thought
talking about the real big one.
Yeah, so someone explained the one-shot big orbs were very
No, I thought we were talking about the one with all the weird like panelings that we were looking through, like 1-1 and 1-2. Okay,
This was like size of
Oh, no.
this room.
This was the lighthouse, not the observatory.
Oh,
It was during
okay.
the
The lighthouse?
one-shot, basically. So.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Continue.
This was like they nuked a civilization to make it
Yeah.
level of big.
Basically. Alright, okay.
Continue.
Hypothesize, from the other one, we can hypothesize that the big one was probably created from unwilling people.
I think it would be difficult for an entire civilization to be willing.
Alright, Eliza, or whatever your name is.
Eiza.
I got a deal with you.
It's Eliza now.
I want to find out whoever made that massive, huge orb of probably unwilling people and tell them that it is not okay to do that.
Of course.
You also have goals. Can we make this work?
Of course, a partnership. I will investigate into the origin of this large orb and help set up a confrontation between you and whoever formed this orb.
Oh.
See, good verb. Good verb.
Foreshadowing. But
It's a boss fight.
and in the meantime, I will have you guys help me try to find these golden orbs, as well as help solve some of my more esoteric experiments.
Yeah, that sounds approximately acceptable.
Great.
So what's first on the list?
I have.
Oh my god.
I love giving choices to people, and I do so love sending adventurers out. Oh, well, this is my first time sending them out, but this is fun. This is very fun.
What's that clock? Let me get my charger. Need.
1, 2, 3.
He's right. It's the.
Hey, okay. Let me pull up also the map I drew.
Ooh.
No, just from the last time I sent you guys.
I'm not even entirely sure why I went there.
Because you
It just sort
could.
of happened.
Because you could.
Yeah. You're right.
Pass me and I'll pass it through the laptop.
Oh, too late.
Cool, I'm back.
Great. Okay, are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
This is deciding where the adventure goes now. There are 3 locations that I need your guys' help with in the moment. For one,
Okay.
the northeast yes, north, south, east, west, yeah, east, northeast, there is a giant block of ice. Hear me out. It's really big, incredibly unnatural.
Cool.
As far as I can tell, before the Great Exodus, it was not there. But once our people started fleeing in droves, that giant block of ice formed, and I am assuming there's something at the very top, because it is very cube-like, and it makes sense that either there's something inside or at the very top of the cube. I have a hunch that it may be related to this ice plane you guys were speaking of moments ago.
That's true.
So that may be a great place to check for powerful orbs. Does not have to be gold. Any sufficiently powerful orbs must be kept here for safekeeping. Additionally, to the southeast, there appears to be a giant amphitheater of our people. Once it was used for great plays and for live events, musical events, acts, tragedies, speeches. This was one of our famed amphitheaters. Recently, there's been some activity there, some motion that my sensors have detected.
Ooh, she's got sensors.
I have a magical thing that I call a sensor, and there has been some movement there. I wish to go investigate, but I do not have the time at the moment. And finally, to the northwest, to the west of our great world tree, which I'm assuming you have seen if you've been at the observatory.
You gotta have a good one.
Our very big and purpley tree.
Yep.
Very purpley.
Is
Very big.
Can you say that again, because you robot?
It was a very big and purple tree to the north of the observatory. To the west of there is a giant curved sculpture. Again, it was not there before the Exodus began. One day, it was just magically formulated, and it came into existence. Now, to be able to teleport such a large structure or to formulate it within one day is nigh impossible without some incredible feat of energy. My associates also have no idea as to how they came into being, and so we wish to investigate that as well. Feel free to choose one of those three, and I'll be able to equip you for the journey ahead, as well as some tips for the way.
I have one question.
Certainly.
For all of these, how recent was the activity? I mean, except for the ice one, I kind of get that. But for the other ones, how recent did the activity start? And also, how come your friends haven't also investigated it?
Of course. For the giant block of ice, again, I don't have the capabilities of climbing up to the top myself, nor do I kind of want to at the moment. Just because a giant block of ice is formed will not give me a solution as to disabling the war machines of our time.
Okay.
As far as why I'm not sending you to the war machines themselves, these are very powerful constructs that even I am unable to safely observe from a distance. I have to view from a large distance away and just try to do my scientific study from afar. Once you guys are stronger, I may request you guys to try to take one of them down yourself. As far as the amphitheater, it was very recent. It was only about a week ago or so that we detected motion. I believe that the motion triggers are still being activated at this time.
Sounds good.
Yes, and again to the northwest, it's a giant structure that came out of nowhere.
Cool.
I did not have the manpower or capability to investigate at the time. My primary purpose at the moment is research into how to reverse engineer the Rage Walker virus, as well as try to find out why some of our large golems are being activated across the lands.
Could it be your associates? Because they also do research, it
My
seems?
associates work on a variety of other tasks. All of our work is pretty interspersed, so it is not very well connected. For example, one of my close friends, Lendon, Lendan, he works on constructing the magical gateways that allow easy access throughout these lands, just to keep us interconnected. Our spaces are separated very vastly, and we currently only have one room in which all of us can meet at one time.
Can you possibly introduce us to London? Because that seems like a good way to visit where we came out of from.
Certainly. Of course, setting up this meeting is not easy because it takes a large amount of energy in order to traverse such a large distance. I can communicate with him, certainly, but again, I must actively use orbs that it looks like your friend is not comfortable with me using in order to power
I mean, you can do it when she's not here.
Braywood sighs and says, I take issue with the ethics of your society's technology. I'm coming to understand that these are not your moral decisions so much as those of the resources with which we currently have to work. I can accept the use of...
It's called implicit bias.
Is it?
That's a big word for Sully.
I'm just joking. It was
It's because Emily and I were talking about implicit bias trainings today. I'm actually like thinking. It's like not really.
It's
No,
like adjacent to implicit bias, maybe?
I mean, it's her implicit bias because it's like the society.
it's not implicit. It's explicit bias. She dislikes people who use nature to do
no,
arcane
no,
magic.
No, her
Oh.
Eiza being
Yeah.
like, just like, yeah, fucking plants.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. It's Eiza's
Yeah,
insistence.
she has implicit bias against plants. Okay.
You're welcome.
Well, not
I
against
didn't
plants,
say that
just
in
lacking the same cultural knowledge that you do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't say that in character.
But no, what Braywood will look around at her party, see that they're not super tense anymore, correct? They're
I mean,
like,
I don't fucking trust her,
I
but...
trust her with my
Dude, Arrow's the most relaxed you have seen here.
But yes,
You and me.
He's like-
I am more relaxed.
okay. So she doesn't exactly like try to shake hands or anything, but she nods to the woman that I'm still gonna keep thinking of as the witch, and says, I understand that this is the technology with which we currently have to work. It disagrees with my personal ethics, but I'm not going to stop.
I am surprised to hear that your civilizations do not use the energy if they are truly the refugees from my
That's what I was
Well,
thinking.
see, I'm finding it most likely that all the refugees were wiped out with the civilization-destroying orb, and that some kind of stragglers were left behind.
Your guess is as good as mine.
But
We
I will
may
note
find
that
out in the future.
this is, if that's true, is the technology that wiped out an entire civilization of people who ran from it. So I'm going to continue disliking it, even if we have to use it to survive.
Again,
Use it to survive, then get rid of the technology.
Excellent.
once more, I must stress that a grand ritual has very specific formulations and very specific steps in order for them to have undergone. For an entire population to just be used in such a giant orb seems nigh unfeasible to me without some great reason behind all of it. There's no way
Yes, I'm
that
sure
such
the
a
great reason was something awful. That's not difficult for me to get my head around.
Addition.
More.
And you see Arrow pointing at the box of orbs or box with an orb in it. Addition? Like, can we put more of them into an already existing orb to make it bigger?
as far as I
Lord.
know,
Whoa.
no one has ever tried. It didn't seem like a reason. We do have waste detritus orbs that once they've been used up, they're kind of just baubles to look at. We sometimes use it as a form of currency. They're usually just small and blue in nature. That usually means that they're depleted. As far as I know, I've never seen anything like that before. Why? Do you know something?
You see Arrow sweating.
I insight check him.
Wait, so what were the blue orbs? They were
Ones that were made of like
Plants and things.
nature. No, like specifically like calamities within nature.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Natural disasters and shit. That's
You're right,
different.
I thought it was when you took plants and then used them too much they
Hang
became
on.
blue.
Insight.
No, they're from
Fuck out of
brown.
him.
No, the brown one we
That's
had
my
to-
friend.
Who's your friend? I'm not following.
Arrow.
What was it?
That's so cute.
Great.
Arrow sweats in nervousness of, yes, no one has ever seen this before.
Okay.
I already insight and failed.
Mhm.
I'm gonna insight
First
Oh, I thought you already insighted. I thought you were 19.
21.
No, I was.
Still the same thing of the... Arrow is obviously sweating of the thought process of, yes, no one has ever seen orbs fuse, definitely. No one in this room.
Wait, you saw orbs fuse? When the fuck did that happen?
Did you say that out loud?
No. Wait, what the fuck?
I think we're learning things about the backstory of Arrow.
Oh, sweet. I don't insight, because I don't think Tetra picked up on it.
I everyone unhappily.
So, Solly ignores everything. They rolled 7. So if we're trying to pick which one to sort of go for, I'm willing to say that going for the amphitheater might be worth our time because there seems to be maybe something sentient and human there.
Well, we know that something is moving. Very different.
Yes, it could be humanoid. Do you know if it's humanoid? Do your motion sensors tell you what they are?
Were they moving in a human-like way?
Yes.
Only detect motion.
Yeah.
But as I'm sure you see in these lands, there are no animals left anymore. We're also trying
So
to
that's true. But on the other hand,
Let's find the last animal, guys.
the other ones, or, you know, a fucking giant fucking golem of evil, yeah, I'm sure we will. On the other hand, if we go to any of the other ones, they're, like, strange, powerful things, so I think we're more likely to find information about strange, powerful things, which is kind of what we're here for.
But motion.
That must be kept for safekeeping.
Yeah!
You know what?
As an arrow reminding all of you guys that if we find orbs based on this lady's stuff, she wants us to take them back to her for safekeeping. So if we want powerful artifacts,
We'll
not
see if we
We'll
actually
see
do
if we
that.
can. Right there.
We'll see if we actually do that,
If
but...
that's the case, then maybe we should go for one because it's more sort of. It might give us more information about where that lighthouse was.
One being
Also-
block of ice.
Yes,
Two
the
ice.
I'd be down for the block of ice.
Let's go to the block.
It's good fucking
does
cold
everyone-
again.
I don't want to make you know.
I agree.
Okay, me and Kaitra, that's all that matters.
You see Arrow unfold a scarf from his pack and put it on.
Me and Arrow and Kaitra.
We are in
you
agreement.
guys.
Nah, Gwen is dead.
So you guys have decided to go towards the giant block of ice. Is that right?
You bet.
I mean, Braywood didn't say anything, but I assume Braywood.
Giant block of ice is the current vote.
Yeah. It's nature.
Braywood claps her hands together and says, "It sounds like it's very much not nature. So yes, please give me something unnatural I can be angry at that we can actually do something about."
I mean, if you think about it, you can't steal energy from ice.
I'm not at all certain that that's true. But let's go take a look.
Okay,
Okay.
we would like that one. Please give
I'll take
everybody
one big ice
warm
cube, please.
clothes.
Certainly, certainly. Okay. Let me help you guys, deck you guys out for the journey ahead.
I'm totally fine because I come from the moist. So I'm already decked out.
Oh,
You're
no.
moist.
The
Okay.
moist is different than the cold.
So
The moist is the cold, isn't it?
the moist is adjacent. It is cold and it gets colder as you get to the center, and then it's basically a
So I'm
giant. That's you're on the opposite end of the Arctic, basically. Like you're
Cool.
at the coast of the Arctic Ocean or the Arctic block of icy thingy.
So I'm like from Canada and we're going to like Antarctica.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right.
Okay, sick.
Yes. Please come this way, and then you guys get up. You guys walk down the hallway a little bit. You see at the edge of the hallway, it's like in the wall. It's 3 locked doors.
Cool.
She motions her hand, and then it looks like you guys hear an audible click, and she motions you to the one that opens to the far left. Please enter.
I enter.
I shall enter.
You guys enter.
What?
You guys find a very nicely decked out storeroom.
You leave
with
and
a-
enter again.
Yeah, with a bunch of things, gear, equipment, like crafting things as well, like a tanning
Cool.
rack. Doesn't seem like it's very well used. It's like no one's ever tanned in a long time.
There's Skyrim workshop guys.
Yeah, blacksmiths, a forge, basically that. You guys see a pretty awesome workshop slash armory slash equipment facility. Please
Cool.
help yourself to these warm cloaks and whatever else you wish to see. So you guys can look around the room and describe what you're looking for, and I'll see if I can get it for you.
What the fuck do I
I want an ice pick.
You want an ice pick? Like a
Yes.
Like a pick made of ice, or like an ice pick for climbing?
Perfect. I will have an ice pick and the warm cloak.
Okay.
Yes, I would like warm clothes.
Let's go one at a time. Let's start.
Okay.
Let's start with Arrow, I suppose. So you want an ice pick and a very warm cloak?
Yep.
Okay. So you get this cloak. It seems like it was made for children, but it's very woolly, very warm. There's a giant hood that comes up to the top. It looks like it's made of some fur. Seems very well maintained. It looks like the Game of Thrones cloaks, basically, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then you get these two big ass, too big for you, but they're still usable by you, but two big ass ice picks that look very modern, very sleek, made of metal, and it has a leather grip.
Mm-hmm.
And you twirl them around and you go, feel like a bionicle.
I'm not gonna lie, when you said cloaks, this is what I imagined.
Wait, so did we get a source?
Sure.
What?
Just I'm supposed
You
to
just come up
say-
with shit.
Okay.
That's all I want.
I'm trying to think of wild shape animals. I just realized I looked at my list of wild shapes that I had prepared.
Mm-hmm.
We have a spider, okay, which will shut down in the cold. We have a giant spider. We have a giant poisonous snake, which will shut down in the cold. And we have a mouse.
You're also a spore druid, and spores don't really exist in the cold.
I'm just gonna wait. This makes no sense. Okay, well, maybe I'm from very southern Canada.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick a mammal. I'm gonna have at least one
Only
mammal.
Can you choose
No,
wild
no,
shape based on your backstory, or is it like you can just choose whatever animal you want?
Well, by the book, you can become anything you've seen, so I can choose shit as I see it. But I decided that in Braywood's culture, it's kind of a taboo to become things that aren't from your homeland. It kind of goes against your identity. So she's only going to become things that come from kind of the wetlandsy area she grew up in.
I see, okay.
Are you
So
going
I'm gonna-
to circle
new
of
grid rules
wild
also
shape
need
rules or regular wild shape?
You have a list of them.
She's
Oh, I
going
have-
off her own custom.
In the Unearthed Arcanas.
I mean,
How
in terms of,
limited do you mean?
You gotta choose them, and you get choices every couple levels or so. But basically, like what you're doing anyway, you have a pool of things you can choose from. You can't just choose anything. To avoid the goldfish incident.
The goldfish incident.
Well, I mean, it has a list of things that are the correct CR that you can become. But are you saying it's now
There's a
more
list of
restrictive?
things, yeah. Because before you could
It's
be,
not in
say, a
Circle
very
of
high-level
Spores.
druid who says, "We're gods now," and jumps off a cliff, and decides, "Oh, to avoid dying by hitting the water, I'll turn into a goldfish," and dies.
So I do just want to say I'm looking at my Unearthed Arcana and there's nothing about wild
think
shape
the-
restrictions.
Thanks because you're looking at Honor.
Hold on, I'll show you later. It's
No,
just-
no.
You're a spore druid, right? I don't think spore druids normally get wild shape.
I'm a spore druid and I'm looking at the spore
No,
druid
it's not.
UA.
It was an addition to the just druid thing or something.
If you die,
Is it
in-
official canon though,
No,
or is it
no,
UA?
it's not. I was just mentioning it because you mentioned having a list. and I was like, that's
Oh,
interesting.
so it's an optional rule.
Yeah, it's an optional rule and the same
Okay.
thing if you go to the bottom.
if you die in wild shape, does it just turn back to normal?
Yeah.
You do.
Okay.
Can you link me, Ash?
Oh,
Whichever
yeah,
one it
should be
is.
on
'Cause
the score one.
Oh, it's on the
But
spore.
if you were to do the exact same thing, I would rule that once you hit the water, you'd be out in the goldfish form, but you'd be stunned from falling such high distance as a goldfish, and then you'd drown, and then you die.
Gotcha. Okay, this is not my UA. This is a different UA.
Yeah. I was just mentioning it because I thought that was interesting.
Sick. Okay, I will read this quietly in the background.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, Miss Sater, if it so pleases you, you can have a cloak as well. Maybe a lantern or something to help guide your way. Whatever
I have
works
an
best for you.
important out of character question.
Yeah, sure.
Does she have a cloak big enough that we could put it on a giant snake? Could I just be in a tube of warmth?
How big of a snake are we talking here?
What if I just want a sock that's really
I mean,
big?
the longest snakes go to like what, 17 feet long, 20 feet tall?
You know what? She will politely take whatever kind of cloak is offered to her.
It just fits the satyr form. I don't think you can find a giant
How
snake.
do we fit a cloak over the centaur?
It's a blanket.
Horse blanket.
See,
Ah, snake blanket!
Yes, but feel free to be creative. You see like also armaments as well if you need weapons. You see I'll say the ice picks are like 1d8s, just like a generic straightforward thing.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie, I was just gonna use it to pick at the ice cube if we ever saw it.
I think we're gonna see the ice cube.
Yeah, but I wanted to have like Arrow in the background slowly chipping away at this ice cube that he could be using magic on, but it's an ice.
Yes.
Excellent.
That's adorable.
Might I recommend some either climbing equipment or maybe some tunneling equipment? I feel as though for the investigation, some of those would be required. And maybe this tent, if someone likes to carry a tent.
I will
And,
see
like-
if there's any fabric or anything. Gwen can tailor them to.
Yeah, what are we gonna do if we need to climb and we have a centaur?
rope.
It feels like there's a very common theme about this
The
part.
air and realizes he has no spell slots for it.
We can do the same thing.
You've got like, this is like having a D&D character with like a minor disability.
So,
Guys, I will note that Gwen can climb things at half her move, which is 25, which means she can
so on one hand, yes, actually, that's pretty solid. On the other hand, I do want to note I can become large animals, like a giant spider, and that technically a centaur is a medium creature.
and can mount anything that is.
I just want to say I actually looked at my spell slots. I have one more thunder step, and so if you need a demonstration, Arrow will demonstrate. If I convert all my spell slots,
I want to look like this, you guys.
I have some snow horseshoes.
That's
might help.
actually exactly what I was gonna ask.
But they won't help you in climbing, but they'll help you keep your footing on the ice.
Like, I can climb. It's totally fine. It's just
oh,
awkward.
that's a great idea. I need snowshoes.
Okay, you can have some snowshoes too. They don't really fit on your feet very well, but they're kind of more like talons you can stick to your feet. How's that?
Brooks, can you view Gen Chat in Discord and see this beautiful photo of me that Mish provided?
Oh my god, is that what you're expecting for a giant?
This is what I would like.
Unfortunately, I don't have enough fabric for what you intend. If you want a sled, I can provide you a sled.
Oh, I was pointing at shoes.
Oh wait, actually, that's sensible.
Snowshoes for your bird.
Guys, I have made those exact shoes for pigeons before, like, relatively often, and they get
Is that
so
Bumblefoot treatment? That's so cute.
Oh, we used it for a pigeon. Well, yes, that is one option. There are others. We'll talk later.
Okay.
I just want to say they exist and I have
yeah.
them.
Guys, do you want to just hitch a sled to Gwen and then I'll just sit on the sled?
Yeah, let's do that actually.
We have a sled.
You can see a kangaroo walking in the snow. Do you know what that looks like? It looks like this.
I love it! Ash is demonstrating how birds walk in snow.
Someone take a picture of this. Snapchat this.
Snapchat me for me.
I don't have.
Oh, I have books.
Please for,
Snapchat Brooks.
for me.
Okay, Sully, is there anything you would need for your equipment?
Please look at the chat, the
Oh, boy.
art channel.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh,
Ready?
You're wearing a giant. You would like a giant cloak? Sure, I can provide it for you.
Oh, the giant.
I don't
Oh,
see
I see
anything.
it.
Did you post?
Oh, no, not the art channel, it's the website.
Yeah.
Oh, not our channel.
There's a
Would it not make more sense for you to wear
Film me.
the warm clothing inside your armor rather than the outside?
The warm
I don't
clothing
think
is
it's
the armor.
Snapchat. I'm talking about Brooks. Hang on, let me start again. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Close the door.
That is how I will walk with snowshoes.
So you should just answer no.
What's the question?
Shouldn't you put the warm clothes inside your armor, not
No.
outside?
No, I don't think it would. I think it would be more effective like this because otherwise the metal will get cold.
But you are inside. Wouldn't it make more sense for the insulation? Tell you what, I'll give you 2 sets. One for your armor,
Okay.
and one for whatever you're wearing inside. Just be careful not to overheat. So what size do you wear inside? Just blank.
I'm like staring at something like, yeah, what's his zero inside?
The same size is outside.
That is possibly the best answer you could have given.
There's like a very awkward silence.
I hold my hands out.
That's an interesting answer.
Okay, why don't you just pick one out, okay?
I grab one that looks the same size and I tuck it under my arm. Can I also carry the bag of the tent?
Yes. Here's a very nice, efficient backpack. Maybe 2 of you guys can carry.
Does it look like a fucking fanny pack on my back? Is it that?
No.
I'll say like a full-fledged hiking backpack.
Like you're holding it on your back,
I mean,
and like pushing it up.
I was gonna say that I should get camping equipment, but I guess we already got that.
I can hold. I mean,
Just as a general note, you can load whatever you want onto it, and then we could just Gwen can just pull the cart like a horse.
But we could carry it together.
I think I might have to take 2 tents because you have quite a. These normally hold up to 5 people
Other
per tent,
than-
but you have some very large beings in your party. But I could try to kind of stitch 1 into 2 for you. Would you rather have 2 rooms or 1 room for a tent?
Well, we could take 2 different tents.
Do you guys? The question is out of character. Do you guys want 2 tents and each you split your party into those tents and have different interactions, or would you rather have everyone in one big ass tent?
We should probably be in one big ass tent just for safety.
But one big
Oh
ass
yeah, one
tent,
thing I said
guys.
for fun.
Alright, fine, one big ass tent.
Give me Sarah's tent. Sarah
Oh.
has a huge tent for her yard.
Oh yeah, we have Sarah's tent now.
Nice. Okay. Here, go ahead and I'll just stuff this in here. Smack it here. She hands you a very large parcel. That's like the tent.
Hell yeah.
All it's supporting stuff. This one as well. You can just if you find yourself on a sheer face, you can just hammer it into the wall, and you can set supports so you can hang from the cliffside. It's very.
I assume
it's very
Sully's
strong.
gonna have a tent because it's so big?
It's
Yeah.
really big. I think
Not
only
that I can-
Sully or Sully
They
or
could just
Gwen could carry it
into the
effectively.
cliffside.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, alright.
I'm like one of Gwen's supply requests is the cart, so like no worries about.
Okay. Yes. Here's a toboggan. You might have to carry it till you get to the cube of ice, though.
That is fine.
Oh wow. Oh, suddenly you're a wolf. That's great. Okay. Yes. Before I send you guys back, I need to give you guys a few magical items just to help you.
I haven't been chosen.
Oh yes. What would you like, Hydra?
Hi, I'd like warm clothes. We already got camping gear. Do you have a magical source of fire?
Magical source of fire. I thought.
It's almost as if someone here knew create bonfire.
I have created bonfire, but maybe there's more magical sources of fire. We're going to a giant ice cube.
I can give you some waterproof matches.
Got it.
Ooh.
I'll take them.
I'll give you this incredibly flammable stuff. And here, if you wish, you can pull this cart of firewood too.
I won't take.
Unfortunately, I don't have anything really for, climbing a giant block of ice.
Can I have a climbing pick? Nice pick.
Yes, you also can have some climbing picks. How many do you need?
3.
3. Okay, here's 3 of them.
Alright, here we
You
go.
do a 1d8 throwing as well as piercing damage. I'll say that.
Okay. Ooh, I love throwing damage.
Very straightforward, but it's like effective range 15 feet.
Okay, 3 ice flicks, warm ice clothes. What was that? Waterproof matches. Matches, and then flammable things.
Flammable things. Here's a pack of firewood. You can either carry it or carry it in the cart. I will say though that Sully probably can't carry just the pack and the firewood at the same time. So, ration or optimize.
You
who's
probably
holding what
should bring
effectively.
firewood.
Let's put the firewood in the and keep it away from the highly flammable stuff. So someone else carry the highly flammable stuff.
I'll carry the highly flammable stuff. This sounds like a great idea. I have in my inventory, in quotes, highly flammable stuff.
Perfect.
So I'll say the rules for this expedition is everyone has like carrying volume. It's not like carrying capacity where like you get
God,
bogged down.
don't bring.
Yeah, but it's just like you wouldn't be able to do certain actions if you have like giant ass packs. So like one pack per person is like the limit of being able to do all the normal stuff you can while still being able to carry it. So if like Sully, for instance, was carrying both the firewood and the tents, she would have like disadvantage in a lot of things she would do, or he would do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And who knows, you might find some things as well on the trip.
Really hard.
You guys here, I don't know if you guys need food or anything, but
That butt is way too defined.
here's some beef jerky, here's a water purification pot. You just put the ice and snow in the pot, and it turns potable, or potable, in terms of
Who
drinking.
wants the Who wants the water potifier?
Yeah, it's very big though. It's very big.
Should the cleric have the water potifier?
Probably.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a water purifier.
Unit.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a very big pot. It looks like it's like a giant cast iron pot for whatever reason. Whatever it is, it seems slightly magical. It purifies whatever water goes in, which is nice.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. And before I send you guys back to where we came from, here, she hands whoever's closest an emblem. It looks like to be a small sigil of made out of brass. Here.
Cool.
This will link back to the entryway in this room. It will take quite some time to set up, however. It'll probably take a couple hours, but with enough time, and if you can provide it an energy source, either using it doesn't have to be an orb, it can just be a giant fire, or whatever has a lot of energy in it. You can even hook up some mistletoe to it somehow, and use an ancient, like giant, I don't know, like if you saw a giant monster, you can use it as a battery of some sort. Whatever works best for you.
Got it.
Here's some unenchanted mistletoe. You can.
That's a plan. Yeah.
She also hands you 20 feet of unenchanted mistletoe.
Of what?
Of mistletoe. Just looks like a bunch of vines and leaves. If
Gwen can
you
take that.
guys,
She knows. Oh, pretty-
what's up,
What
Michelle?
was that?
Gwen will offer to carry the mistletoe just because she says she knows it.
Sure, you can carry it inside the pot. Yes. As long as you are creative with its uses, I'll teach you guys all how to do grand rituals. You just have to be very specific on what you want the spell to do, and an energy source, and you can certainly accomplish so. Mistletoe is very easy to work with. It does not take much time. It just takes a bit of ingenuity.
Right.
Additionally, I do wish as a show of good faith. In the olden days, as well as being a scientist, I was an artificer. If you submit a request to me, I can try to either obtain or formulate magical items for you.
Ooh.
Yes. By the time this expedition, for now, should take you about a week or two to complete. If you want any specific type of magical item, be as creative as you'd like, and let me know right now, and I will try to obtain or formulate or create it for you.
Can I get back to you on that in 2 weeks, Brooks?
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just like, I'm not saying it has to be instant, but by the end of your expedition, you will have a magical item.
Can you?
Yeah, let me give you the quick limitations real quick. It's just like, it can be an item that you know exists in like the D&D handbooks, or it could be far more creative. It could be just something like you imbue a spell's effects onto an item. It could be, I'll say all these items are the ones that can grow with you, basically. I'll say that, like, if you're asking for, like, a really badass big item, you get the initial core components, and you can slowly upgrade it as you go along.
Mm-hmm.
Say, like,
Can I have a raging poisoning flaming sword of doom?
I was gonna get to that.
what's that?
First.
Can I have a,
Please,
it's a
please listen to the adventures
It's a
of...
raging poisoning flaming sword of doom. What more do you need to know?
Of course. How could I ever forget that weapon? Yeah,
Like
if
a
you
spear
would,
of
you'd probably
annihilation.
find the poisoning part of that thing of doom.
Oh man, it's a poisoning sword of minor inconvenience.
Yes, for now. But other items could be anything like a hairband that transforms into an object or a house.
I have a question.
I love my ribbon that turns into a
I
house.
slide over my armor lube.
Oh, you apply your armor.
Sorry?
What?
Excuse me?
Whatever this is leading to, I'm not sure I want to hear it.
Wait, go on.
What do you want to do with this?
Can you surprise me?
Oh no! Don't give someone lube and say, "Please surprise me."
Yeah.
No, lube is wax.
You have metal polish for the moment. I will say she has a bucket of grease with a
Yum.
with a lid on top. And if you wish to lube your armor with it, you can certainly do so.
No, but I'm asking you to surprise me with that.
Surprise you with it. Okay, it's a
I'm
magic.
But the question is, how
Can you make me something cool with it?
Oh,
Deal.
you mean for your item, for your magical item? I thought you meant like you needed like adventuring gear that involved a
Oh,
bucket of.
please surprise me. I don't need this right now.
I'll do my best in regards to your interesting request.
Thanks.
And I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. If anyone has any initial ideas, they can feel free to.
No,
I think we're done for now.
Bathroom will think.
we have a book we're looking.
I hope I get really cool lube.
Guys, common magic items.
Pull it up. Pull it up.
Hey,
Oh,
hey,
Just
hey.
in there, they are the best items, including the Cape of Billowing, which is a cape that billows.
I
love
really
it.
All get matching capes of
in a
billowing.
different campaign.
What was that, Niche?
Let's just all get matching capes of billowing.
We can make our warm cloaks capes of billowing.
Yeah. We'll leave them behind. Can you please artifice these? Bye. Oh.
You okay?
Yes.
Ah. What do we have here? Where's common magic items? Spells. Dungeon Master's tools.
Common magic items are the best magic items.
I'm probably just gonna get like horseshoes that give her climbing speed, quite honestly. Just imagine a centaur walking vertically up a wall.
There we go, 136. Yeah, can you get something that can like temporarily turn you into a not centaur?
Her back legs just fall off.
You can take satyr form.
So,
Oh, cute.
I have returned. And
You could have.
No. Alright, hold on, fuck.
I'm ready.
Brooks.
Yes.
In the Adventure Zone, there was a magic item that tragically never even once got used.
Oh.
And what it let you do was change one letter in a spell's title,
They never used it. I don't believe you.
and whatever the resulting spell is what you cast instead.
No, they totally used that.
I don't think they used
They
it.
totally used it.
What would be an
Emily will
example?
remember.
Fireball to ireball. So instead of
No. See, you could cast Cause Fear. Or you could cast Cause Bear.
Oh my god.
okay.
So
very cool.
can I get that?
Emily, please solve this. Do you remember in Adventure Zone they got the item that let them change one letter in a spell? I swear they used it for.
I think I maybe used it exactly once.
I swear they used it. They caused something.
Hold
Let me
on,
look at my
let's look it up.
spells. See if I can find anything interesting here.
I will say yes. I'll
All
also
right.
say, but for everyone in the chat, this is a great opportunity if you have a backstory that requires you to get a specific artifact or something
Yeah.
that accelerates the goal, like pushing it out there. If somebody, this is like completely hypothetical. If someone needed to,
The arm.
I don't
Oh.
describe that spoil anything, but I'll just say like if your character's like say hypothetically wanted to be the strongest man alive, I'd find a way to make an artifact for you that would slowly over time make you ridiculously swole in
Oh.
any way, shape, or form.
Gotcha.
Or-
I'm not. Yeah. So I'm not committed to that yet, but I'm thinking
No,
about
I'm
it.
just saying like yeah, you guys have plenty of time. You can also give her a vague idea of what you want, and I'll try to tailor something in accordance. If you wanted to fly, or if you wanted to like be stronger, to swim, breathe underwater permanently, it'll come in any shape or form. It could be a weapon, it could be an accessory, it could be armor. Pretty much it. Yeah, like armor that grows wings, for instance.
Sick. I want
Yeah,
it.
stuff like that. Or you know, if you've always been lonely, you can get a sentient sword of some sort that speaks in stupid ass riddles.
I love it.
It speaks, but only to mock you.
Whatever your deepest, darkest desire, let it be known.
I could cast blue instead of blur.
Oh,
I
you turn
love
blue.
it.
What now? That was
Ooh,
a
what
full
if
action.
got a cloud of diggers?
You summon Diglett.
I love it.
A giant swarm of moles converges on your location and attacks.
Could I change charm person to harm person by just removing the C?
You harm them emotionally, I'll say that.
Ooh.
It's like they loved you at first, and you love them, and then you harm them by saying, I don't love you anymore.
Ooh.
It hurts.
Ooh.
Blanding smite. You can turn
Blanding
people
smite.
bland.
He can no longer taste. What have you done?
Blur becomes a slur.
Oh no.
Instead of gust, you just cast must.
A shitty form of Geas. Alright,
Ooh. Ooh, you know what I could cast instead? No, I can't put class cloud of that. Damn it.
Instead of bless, you can bleps.
Nim, 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 nim.
Or instead of bless, you cast dress. Or I guess that's
No, that's two letters.
if it started from one word to another, you can always change out syllables or something. I don't know. We'll have to play by ear, but everyone get creative. Get very creative.
And this won't be ready until we return, is that right?
That's right.
But what's the one item you want, though?
I'm gonna think about it.
I do like changing one letter and stuff.
I'll say you guys tell her before you go on your journey, but you guys don't have to say that. Whatever it is, you can tell me within 2 weeks, and we can, or you can tell me whenever before we finish the
I think
assignment.
Braywood wants an item that can like consecrate spaces or return things to their natural state. Like she wants to go heal some of the nature here. Not plant growth, not creating something new, but she wants to help the people that are like arriving mass with pain, and she also wants to help the nature that's being sucked away.
Okay. I'll try to work on that. You can
I had a
give me some more specifics.
consecration.
Yeah, everyone can whisper me whatever they want. I'll definitely work it in.
Brooke,
Okay.
I
Minor
assume you're gonna
illusions.
take my request of
Yeah.
surprise.
Wow,
For lube.
Wow.
She
Look at all this
goes,
gold.
I'll give you some magical lube, but for the moment, you'll have to be satisfied with this bucket of grease I have lying around. Here
What
you
does
go.
magic lube do?
What's
I
that?
could create a vampire.
Do not think about
She just gets you one of those 50-gallon jugs from Amazon for lube. Have you guys seen that thing? The barrel of lube.
The brand name is just Magic Lube.
Solely raises
If we're
their
ever fighting
hand.
rabbits.
What's lube? I can ask for something else if magic lube is
That's
too much.
minor illusions.
You can get that for free, I'll say that. Oh, here,
Do I
guys.
get that for free?
Here's a 50 ga. If you guys ever want this in real life,
I gotta cast blue.
Wait.
55-gallon drum of natural water-based lubricants. Only
perfect.
for 1.5.
Wait. If it's a 50-pound drum, does that mean Sully is now carrying two very big things?
Wait, hang on. You don't want water-based lubricants. You're made of metal. It'll just
I also
rescue.
don't. Wait. I also don't want that.
Yeah.
I'll give you a bucket of grease. Let's say that.
That's what I began with.
It has to be
You'll get
magic.
your magical grease eventually, but for now, I don't have. For now, I really. The uses of grease are already limited to begin with. I can give you cooking grease, I can give you metal grease, I can give you, like, lubricating grease. But,
I have an idea.
oh no.
I'll tell it to you later, Brooks.
Okay, okay.
It involves.
Alright. And with that, you guys are escorted back to the entryway.
Alright.
And she bows to you. She says, I hope you understand if I don't follow you now. It takes quite a bit of energy to open these portals and to sustain them for long. So I will say adieu to you. Would you
What
like me to
kind of
take care of your
mood?
friend Fulse? Or would you rather I do something else?
You should hang on to.
Can have it.
Okay, I'm gonna go lock him back up. I hope that's okay.
That's fine.
Everyone, say goodbye to Fulse. Bye, Fulse.
Bye, Volse. Bye, Volse.
Don't leave me
I
with
do.
her. I'm scared. Please.
Can we maybe attempt to keep him tied up in the ropes that don't cause pain
Yes,
and
can you keep him above?
experiment with that?
I
Yeah.
have no guarantees,
Oh,
but I
taller?
will certainly try. And
Maybe you could even keep him somewhere he's not in with the writhing zombie mass.
that's the only secure place I have. That is why I picked this location. Middle of nowhere, iron steel doors that don't open unless someone forces them open. The doors I had underground, they could only be opened one way. And they were magically locked as such.
Braywood just looks to the cleric like, is this chill?
Say again, you cut out.
Braywood just looks to the cleric like, is this chill? Are we gonna give the prisoner back to her?
She is better equipped to deal with him than we are. If we were to take him with us, we risk him causing harm to himself, to us. Well, this is maybe not the best solution. I cannot think of a better alternative.
The gestation period for the Rage Walkers can vary anywhere between a few days to a few years. As far as I can tell, he was affected when he entered these lands, maybe a few months ago. I've been keeping him here ever since, but that's about it. That's all I
Very
know.
well.
I have no guarantees if he'll be safe, but he could also be a helpful compatriot to you.
I think for now, for his own safety and the safety of others, it would do wise not to let him run around in the wilds, so long as you do not cause him any undue pain or suffering.
Well, it does seem that undue pain and suffering is the only other option. I'm not sure that we'll be putting him there for his own good, but for our good, possibly, yes.
I do not understand. So you are in support of keeping him here?
Once again, I think it's a horrible ethical decision, but also the most practical one to make. So I will let it happen if you think it's best.
Good cart person.
I think not dead is an improved state. As Arrow repeats back Kytra's words.
I don't know, he may prefer to be dead than in
know.
pain and
Let's-
fed off of by vines.
You know what? Let's
You
ask.
could ask.
him.
Hey, Fulse.
Would you rather, given the choice between becoming a mindless zombie with the possibility of being cured but we're not sure, or just being dead, do you have a
I don't know how I can trust that witch. Please, take me with you. I don't want to be tied up anymore.
Well, you're going to continue being tied up, but ideally it can be with something that isn't feeding off of your veins or whatever was happening there.
Oh, please, take me with you. I don't want to be stuck here with her. I don't want to be stuck here with
Unfortunate.
them.
So let me reiterate my question. Do you want to go out and potentially cause other people to become like creatures down there?
What are you talking about?
You're also infected. I'm sorry.
Does
We do
anyone
know he's not
here-
infectious yet.
You're infected.
That can't be true.
I'm
That's
sorry.
not possible.
Also, look into the mirror. Look into the mirror. Oh, no, hold on.
Excuse me. We're not revealing that I have the mirror. That hasn't happened yet.
Okay, never mind. In which, Fulsa, whether you like it or not, you have been infected. It's okay. It happened. It's not your fault.
I think it's fairly explicitly not okay from his perspective. I do wonder, do we have any possibility of healing magics that could help him?
If
You have a
like
good
to,
theory?
I can cast some of my more powerful healing stuff.
Mish, can you speak up? You're very, very quiet.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I was saying, is this better?
It's not the same.
Yeah.
Slightly?
Move closer to your mic, hun.
Please, breathe into your microphone.
Okay, this is me speaking directly into my microphone.
Move.
It's a little bit better, thank you.
You can up Mish specifically if you right click
Yeah,
on
up
her name.
me.
I think she's as far up as she can be.
Guys, if you have the Ring of the Grammarian, you can change the spell Wish into the spell.
Oh my god.
Oh, here we go. I can raise her. Hang on. Mish, speak again.
Hello.
Okay.
I'm not sure that did anything, but okay.
Okay, this is me speaking
Excellent.
in a loud voice. Gwen says if we wait a day, she can change one of her spells out for her more powerful healing spell, and we can see if that works.
I mean, I'm sure they've tried it, but sure.
We have to rest overnight anyway, don't we?
We do, because I need my spells back. I only have like 2 a day.
I mean, in response to Fulse talking relatively normally, what does Eiza look like?
Eiza says, unfortunately, healing spells can definitely delay the onset, but it is inevitable. You can certainly keep him medicated, keep him well healed, and that will definitely delay the process, but I have no
I
guarantees.
have a really bad idea out of character.
What?
Okay. So what if we just killed him and then revived him?
Do we have a revive?
I don't think we even have a revive.
We're too low level.
Well, we're
You have her
not. Yeah, it's level 3. We're not too low level, but do you have a diamond?
Nice.
If we get a diamond, we can just do that.
Yeah, I think we got a diamond.
Sure, you get a diamond. There's no worth in these.
So this is out of character.
Yeah, out of character. If you need any reagents for stuff like that.
Let's not waste a diamond on him.
It's not
So
like,
like-
I'm just gonna say it's not like you're gonna spend diamonds on anything else in this area until you go back to the 3 kingdoms.
I'm like, if she can get us magic items, I'm sure she can find a diamond
Do you
somewhere.
want a diamond? Here, I have a handful of them. I mean, I've spent the time in these this fallen empire scouring the lands. Of course, I've picked up some pretty baubles, and diamonds are good reagents.
You want diamonds?
Sure, here you go.
Alright, we got a diamond.
I have a question.
Yes.
How many diamonds? This is going to become
How
relevant.
many do you need?
Depends how often our party is going to go down.
Let's say 2.
2 diamonds. And you can always requisition more materials in the future from her. But sure, you get 2 nice thumb-sized diamonds. They're pretty fucking big.
Have you guys tried killing and reviving Takira?
I mean, that was my next question. As you see behind him, the hand glowing, like, do I do this?
I will immediately say I was waiting to see if you guys would say it in character. I remember posting this a few weeks ago.
Raywood rubs her temples because everything is just fucked up arcane bullshit.
What was
To her
posted?
mind. Resurrection spells, and you've all seen it used in some way. Why is this here? Wink.
Okay.
But
I
there's
will
a big
say
thing
let's
that
do
was
this
with my
Oh.
info dump.
Interesting.
Yes,
Interesting.
yes.
If we kill him now, Gwen does not have the spell prepared, and she has to cast it within 1 minute of them dying, so it has to be tomorrow anyways.
Oh.
Can't kill him today.
I mean, is she gonna propose this in character, or is she just thinking it silently?
This was me out of character speculating if this was even feasible.
All of you.
I like it out of character.
That's not.
Raywood doesn't like it in
Yeah, I
character.
don't think it's gonna work.
In character, Eiza says, no, because we have no guarantees, and I do not want to risk my patients' lives as such. The moment I take a path towards humanoid experimentation, that's a path I will. It's a slippery slope, okay?
Okay, Arrow will stand down.
Raywood looks kind of appeased by this new information.
Cool.
But
Also, Brooke,
yes.
just be aware that if you do give me the Ring of the Grammarian or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
I will be able to cast the cantrip Eldritch Beast.
Yes, but since it is a cantrip, I will
It'll
not
be
make it
small one.
ridiculous. It will just be. It could be anywhere from something awesome to like a little rat coming out of your hand. So.
Hey, if I ever get like a 9th level spell Wish, you better fucking believe I'm gonna cast fucking fish.
Damn, dude, you get
At
the world
level.
fish. It's
That's a
sad.
lot of fish!
It's a lot of fish. It's a lot of fish. You have like Jesus powers. Every fish you touch turns into 2.
So I'm very probably getting that, but we'll see. And is this like our only chance to get a magic item, or is it like every adventure we get one.
I'll say these are far and few in between, but I want to give everyone a big incentive for like a big item early on.
So like I could do like a story thing, but that just sounds so much fucking fun to mess around with.
Whatever works best for you guys.
And probably could get the ring, honestly.
You get the ring, I'll get the plot crucial thing, because all Braywood wants is something that can consecrate, like, and help the things that are being turned into orbs.
Okay, but do you know what I want?
Too much of a fun opportunity to pass it up.
It's magical lube. That's a different.
No, I DM'd it to you, bro.
Oh, okay. I'll look at that in a sec.
We gotta get it later.
So, does anyone want to, in character, like, vote on what to do with our new friend, the Conqueror?
Oh, yes, I have a question. That reminds me.
In character?
Yes.
Okay, go.
In character. So, how long would you give him, assuming we didn't have to heal him constantly?
You see, every time someone falls unconscious as an affected, it greatly accelerates the rate at which the virus spreads.
Is that why you've been keeping them aware?
Conscious and aware. That is precisely why.
That's pretty fucking terrible.
Yes, I think we were all on agreement.
That's really awful.
Yes, that's why I prefer he doesn't go back to the dungeon.
Holy shit!
Constant conscious pain.
Fuck, man.
So, I'm of the feeling...
I think that's pretty explicitly very, very evil.
Like, damn!
So, I think he can come us.
I agree.
And then...
So, like, he does have a virus!
And if he dies in the cold...
But, like, I don't want to be a zombie.
You haven't been a zombie.
Yeah, and I want that to continue.
I think
we'll be fine. I'll be fine.
Like, she said it's not contagious at some point, but I still don't entirely understand that I say in character.
It's not contagious at the moment. Is he still in the room listening to this?
Yes, I'm still here. What are you doing?
Shut up.
Well, I think it's best you be aware of your condition, and it does seem at the moment that your options are constant, unending conscious torment, which is what you've had so far, or probably... There's also the option of coming with us and we will watch you and probably kill you the moment something goes wrong, but we could find a cure along the way, or at least let you see the sun again.
You certainly have a way with words. You are the most charismatic and inspiration-inspiring individual I've ever met.
Motive insight.
I am a druid.
I do not roll a sense motive on that. I sense the motive.
I roll to roll.
You go ahead and roll.
Yeah.
Errol would like to point at a suit of armor, look at himself, wonder if it's worth trying to wear.
Do I think he's being insulting, or if he's
It's like you have to roll a 1 to know he's being sarcastic as hell. But he is like by best, I mean the worst person I've ever met in terms of inspirational speech. I will take my fate into my own hands. You can take me with you or just release me. But I am Fulse the Conqueror. I will not be beaten down by some mere illness.
Just to confirm $100 basis, have you cast Remove Curse on him?
I've casted many things, including Remove Curse. It is not a curse. It is some sort of infectious disease.
Have you cast Remove Disease?
It is a magical disease.
Have you cast Remove Disease at a high level?
Everyone just like, have you done this or this? He's like,
No? Who knows? You know, I will go ahead and try, and I will find out. I'll get back to you in 2 weeks and let you know exactly how that goes, okay?
Thanks.
Wait, I have a question. One more, a real one.
Yes.
So is your plan, I guess, to like stay here?
If you would, please remove these damn bindings. I, Forza the Conqueror, regaining my accents with my vigor, I shall go an adventure and find my own cure and liberate my old friends from this vile illness myself. That I swear.
Braywood looks
That
at.
sounds vaguely alarming.
What is the NPC's name again?
Full six?
Say,
No, the lady, the witch.
Eiza.
Eiza.
Yeah, Eliza.
She looks at Eiza. She looks at Eliza. Oh,
It's Eliza with the L removed. How's that?
perfect. I love it. No, the L is just silent.
That's perfect.
Oh, there you
Looks at Eiza and says, "What is the harm of letting him go?"
Well, if he turns into a rage walker,
Yes, but is there anyone left in this world for him to harm?
other adventurers coming through just like you. They have been coming in slow trickles over the past couple of years, but most of them were hostile or secretive, or serving their government in some form.
I mean, yes, I would describe us as all of those things occasionally.
Yes, but
What
you guys
happened
seem a
to
little more level-headed, or maybe just too eccentric.
go.
You are not the norm, I assure you.
I don't think we should just leave him to run around in the wilds by himself.
Why,
do you not
trust me? I am
No.
not safe.
I.
Yeah, that's nice.
Well, I vote we don't put him back in the eternal suffering
And we're
mistletoe chamber.
Back to square one.
Can we agree on not the eternal suffering chamber
Yes.
of mistletoe?
But I think the concern
But like, where
is,
else does he go is the problem?
do we want him to be dead weight or wandering the
The
Does it
problem
matter?
is, yes.
Wait.
I...
Turn into zombies.
Dead.
For the record, you guys never really explained that he'll turn into a zombie very in depth. But he's like, okay.
Explain what?
You guys didn't fully explain that he's gonna turn into a zombie. You just kind of said like, hey, you're
We
infected,
did.
you're gonna-
We told him he's infected with a zombie plague and he's slowly becoming a zombie.
Yeah, but you know that doesn't sound very believable in any way, shape, or form to this gentleman here.
I put my hands on his shoulders and lean in.
So I could take out the mirror at this point,
And I will say,
but
you
I could
might
also not.
kill us.
Do you have a persuasion check?
It's not you. It's not me. It's you.
Are we back in the shack?
Yeah, you guys are back in the shack. You guys are talking through Eiza through the portal, basically.
Oh shit.
I say it's not me. It's you.
What
That's
is
funny.
me? Tell me.
hey, Eliza, do you have one of those essence mirrors?
Essence mirrors. Yes, but they're kind of hard to come by. Do you need one?
Like, I mean, we could show him his essence.
Oh, sure. I have one in my chamber, but
The one that's full of zombies.
no, that's right. No,
Why don't you go look-
I have some, but they're scattered around the laboratories. I don't really keep them.
Can you look around the lab?
Sure, let me take a quick look.
So I could discreetly show him his essence.
I was about to say that's why.
Yeah, when she walks away.
Alright, fucking fine, while he walked away. I'm gonna say, like, full say? Alright, I'm gonna pick out the mirror, I'm gonna show Braywin in it. Braywin, fine. Essence normal. Turn it over to full say. Your essence is very bad right now and you are very sick. And then I put the mirror away.
How do I know this is not a trick mirror? Show me more of you.
What
People.
reason would we have to
It's
trick
not.
you?
It's not a trick mirror.
Then prove it. Show me yourself. Also, I need to tune you up a little bit, Mish. Can't really hear you.
Oh, sorry.
Give me a sec. I'll increase your volume. Say again.
What reason would we possibly have to trick you? What do you think our motives are?
What reason did you have to kick me in the face?
Can we
Because
just
I thought you
gently
were a
point the
zombie.
mirror toward
But
Glenn?
you didn't know I was a zombie.
Yes.
Okay, what does Gwen's essence look like again?
Normal.
Okay. Yeah, I'll show him Gwen's essence.
But I don't trust her. She kicked me in the face and knocked me out.
She's fucking a cleric!
Then why did she kick me in the face?
Because you're unconscious and a dick!
Out of character, you didn't know that he was infected before you kicked him in the face.
Yeah, we did. This
We did
was-
actually.
We only did it after she looked in the mirror.
Oh, that's right, that's right.
And I did say in character because you were conscious, because you were unconscious and a dick.
If what Sully says to be true is true, I believe you, Sully. Is this true?
Thank you.
Am
That
I
means a lot.
infected?
Yes.
Will
It's
you
true.
not? Will do you wish for me to come with you, or shall I take my chances and put destiny back into hands of fools?
Shit.
Alright, yeah. Good on, Sully. What do you want? You seem to be the one who gets to choose.
Choose his fate.
Do it.
Oh no.
Do it.
Well,
Is destiny back in the hands of Full Say? Or are we taking him fucking with it?
Or is he gonna live in eternal suffering?
no, of course not.
Do it.
Can we get like a ring of sustenance for this man so he never has to fall asleep?
I want to read
Oh shit!
That's the thing in
Hey,
Pathfinder. I don't know.
You
if it's in
know,
D&D.
actually, please untie me for a moment.
I untie him.
He reaches back into his pocket. You guys remember that when he was in his room, he had a small ring and a small cup.
Was it a fucking ring of sustenance?
Yes, it was.
God damn!
Woo!
Yeah.
You're
Yes.
coming home.
You see, I tap this ring on this cup, bung, 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 and hot cocoa comes out, and it's very yummy.
And it like keeps you from having to sleep, right? Because that's how ring of sustenance work in Pathfinder.
No, I still get sleepy, but I just kind of fight it off. For I am Forse the Conqueror.
How many days have you fought it off in the past? Full Say the Conqueror.
My record has been 3 months.
Alright!
Justice needs no
Full
sleep.
Say joins the party.
I do have a question
Yes.
for our witch friend. Is she back yet, Eliza?
I wasn't able to find a mirror.
Yeah, so sad.
That's all right. I do have a question for you.
Sure.
Our friend here has a magical item that allows him to not sleep for months at a
I'm
time.
not sure if that's the item's fault. I think it's just Full Say.
False say the
Oh
conqueror.
yeah, Full Say the Conqueror, right.
False say the
Is there a reason you put him into the eternal torment mistletoe instead of just letting him use that?
Well, who would ever believe that someone could stay awake by themselves consciously?
You couldn't just maybe cast a spell to identify the item.
Well,
Again, I think that's just Full Say.
if you would show me the item, I would gladly identify it real quick for you.
Actually,
Yeah, fuck it,
we
go with it.
should-
Yeah, what does his ring do? Does it keep him
Yeah,
awake or
does
not?
it actually do that?
You look at the ring. Alright, she takes a look at the ring. Ooh, identify you. Tell me, what are you? And it whispers. And then she hands it back. No, it just makes hot cocoa that is very nutritious.
Tell you what, Full Say the Conqueror. If you really can stay awake for 3 months, you can come with us. But if you fall asleep 3 times, you're not waking up.
Eiza kind of lifts her finger a little bit. I might have to remind you that not
What was that?
sleeping only delays the effect. It is
Listen,
not a cure-all. It is not fully prevented.
But if it doesn't fall asleep, will I become a zombie?
See, I have no idea. You can certainly inform me afterwards.
Fuck. Great. Well, alright.
If anything, that would guarantee we might actually become zombies, because if he's awake and we're asleep.
I mean, if we're all on shifts, keeping watch.
And good thing, Sully doesn't have to sleep.
Yeah, I'll walk him.
Braywood just makes eye contact with Thunk because they're still on the same page of like, look, if an animal is sick and it's going to infect the rest of the herd,
Thunk just nods at this. Thunk is prepared to go.
yeah.
Alright.
As far as Braywood is privately concerned, it's better to be dead than suffering forever. So,
Thunk is on the put him out of his misery train.
yup.
Alright, let's go full say.
That's a popular train.
Alright, I guess we're taking Full Say with us.
We're going to do a private execution later.
Trusting you guys with our new
Can we at least, like, try and interrogate him to get something useful before we kill him?
What?
Not out of character.
I'm standing right here, you know.
Fuck you, Full Say.
Full say the conqueror.
Full Say the Conqueror!
What you figure? The conqueror is the important part.
I'm not sure I actually like this lemon lime color scheme.
All right. Let us depart, my brave compatriots. I shall lead the
All right.
way.
Yes, I'm ready.
Yeah,
Let's
alright. Go, Full Say, lead us. Where exactly do you think we're going?
Onward. To the, where are we going, by the way?
We're gonna go.
You tell me, Fulse, where are we going?
We are going to find adventure and a
I
cure.
thought he was gonna say to find the cure.
Oh no, he's gonna be cute, and it's gonna get harder and harder
You
to
bet
kill
we're gonna
him.
go find adventure. Where are we finding adventure, Fulse?
Oh,
I
don't do that.
I saw in my travels a while ago a giant amphitheater. But
Oh.
I did not investigate because there seems like there's a lot of spooky things going on over there.
Can I suggest something, Fulse the Conqueror?
Yes, false. Yes, yes.
Yes, also.
We seem to have a lot of winter gear here. Should we go conquer the giant ice block? Because it seems pretty big and spooky and powerful.
Fulse,
That sounds like a pretty good idea. I'm great at
So
climbing.
we going, Fulse?
Wait,
Great
Fulse,
at climbing. I conquered the mountain known as Mount.
Fulse.
Is this not Kaitra's character? Would Kaitra not be acting like this?
No, I think I should win
I
this
think-
shit with him.
I think Kaitra would, because I'm making fun of him. This is what I'm
Wait.
actually doing, and he's just eating it up. So.
Wait, Fulse,
Yes.
do you need clothes?
Do I need what?
Clothes?
Yeah, what's he
Like
wearing?
warm
Well,
clothes?
he's kind of like wearing rags, a semi-uniform,
I can
basically.
wear my coat.
It is okay. I am full say. I do not need items. I fight with my bare hands.
Fulse, if you fall asleep, you
Fucking
die.
hate him. Alright.
I love him.
Onwards towards adventure.
Braywood discreetly, like, takes another cloak for Fulse. And some nice shoes.
Yeah, Fulse, you need better gear.
It is
Fulse my
okay.
favorite
Through
NPC.
sheer force of will, you can overcome anything.
Yeah, let's do it.
Braywood fully plans to kill him, but she also gets him some nice snow boots.
No, stop. Let him live. Sully's the cat.
You know what? Does she get? Yeah, she doesn't want him to slow them down. She gets him some nice snow
So
boots.
here's the problem. It's the turning into a zombie part.
He's
I don't want to do that.
He won't. Probably.
Oh,
Alright.
oh wait. We should find out if there's a sign for when he becomes infectious.
Oh yeah. Is there a sign for when it becomes infectious?
Are you saying it's Eiza?
Yeah.
He'll become a lot more jittery. He'll look a lot
Cool.
hungrier. His skin will
Cool.
turn a pallid gray color.
Did
His
somebody
eyes
write
will
this
turn
down?
red, and he will grow pointy ears. It's kind of a very obvious sign of transformation.
Oh, okay. So, but that's when he's infectious. He's not infectious before then.
No, he is not.
Cool. Got it. Cool. Good sign. Good.
And-
Good.
And do you know how it's transmitted? Is it by bite, by touch?
We have no idea. We have investigated. So sometimes when a rage walker bites another being, they transform. But sometimes when they bite, it doesn't happen. We're still not quite sure why. And again, we don't have very many humanoids at all to practice, or not practice, to experiment on, because this happened many, many, many years ago.
Okay. Fulse, don't bite me.
I think you'll be okay, Sully.
Immune to disease.
Guys, if you're allowed to take away a letter instead of speak with dead, you can cast speak with dad.
Thinking
All
about
right. Well, that was fun.
Yay! Okay.
Is that where we're breaking?
Yeah.
We can break here. I definitely didn't not expect to be so much conversation. I definitely expected us to have.
No, I
Yeah,
love roleplay sessions.
Brooks, like I said, just expect us to be like 4 times slower than you think. we
Please
will.
ask John Jack about the time our entire session was us befriending a mole.
They fucking awakened a goddamn mole.
A very intense mole,
Not
I'm
worth it.
assuming.
We once had a session of just sleepover.
Okay, but it started with, yeah, you guys are going through the plane of Earth. You're like level 18 now. There's nothing in this book that can challenge you without itself being worth an entire campaign. Maybe you meet a mole at some point.
Okay, well,
Why
John,
did we
I'll
stop
let
interacting
you
with the mole?
After we take it with us.
2 hours later, they stop interacting with
His
the mole,
name
and
is
at this point,
Molly.
his name is Molly. It's been awakened. It believes it is the holy night of
And it's a
Calvary.
dragon now.
And it's a dragon. 2 hours later.
We make
This is why Pathfinder is a terrible game, and I love it.
I'm gonna go ahead. Just a quick hot take. How are you guys feeling about how it's going so far? It's been 3 sessions. All role playing basically and exploration.
Yes.
Over
I'm waiting for
I love role playing and
I
exploration.
am sitting
Chill.
as of now, after this session, I am on significantly more solid ground in terms of what on earth we're doing, which is nice. So yeah, I think it's going good.
Yeah. I'll say next session, I'll definitely, 100% we'll actually have combat. It's gonna be a lot more structured in the sense that you guys have an objective. You have like very obvious thing of what you should do, in the sense that there's a clear endpoint to it. You'll investigate, and then stuff will happen. Investigate, and then you'll meet up back with Eiza, or not, and go from there.
Awesome. Guys, instead of spare the dying, you cast share the dying.
All party members drop to 0.
Well, instead of inflict wounds, you could cast inflict hounds.
Oh.
I'll say they're adorable hounds, so it's not very.
Yeah.
They're puppies.
Ew.
I love
You know what you can cast instead of color spray? Colon spray.
Oh, ew.
Spray.
Give someone Crohn's disease.
Ooh, Tasha's hideous slaughter.
That just sounds like a straight power upgrade.
If you're allowed to add a letter.
In 2 weeks, I'll whisper everybody about their items. Just let me know what sort of thing you're looking for. I definitely want to make everyone's items like a very specific, tailored one specifically to their character, basically.
Okay.
Wait,
Special.
we all get an item? I thought we were making one.
No, everyone gets one. Everyone
Oh,
gets one.
shit.
So on the one hand, I could think of some kind of story item. On the other hand, I really want to change the one letter
Do
of
it,
spells.
do it. I'm getting a story.
Whatever is funnest for you. If you want a story item, go for
Hell
it.
yeah.
If you want a fun item, go for it. I'll be as creative as you need it to be. I'm expecting full homebrew items, guys. So, I don't know, like suit of armor that transforms into a Gundam or something. I don't know. It could be anything you guys want if you're imaginative.
Okay. Cool.
Just, nothing too crazy like this is the ring of insta-death. When you put this on, you insta-die.
Oh,
Watch
shit.
out. Yeah. Be
Tree
creative.
seeing. Tree seeing.
Yeah, but other than that, I will see you guys.
Alright, well.
Oh wait, 2 weeks from now is my interview day. So after that interview, I'll be driving, probably stay at a hotel or at my friend's place. So after my interview, I'll let you guys know how it's gonna go, and if we would have a session on that night.
If someone can do it the week after.
Or we can pick a different day of the week. I think most days work for us.
Yeah.
Most days
It's
are
only
Thursday.
Monday. Yeah, Monday and Thursday are tied up, I think. Why
Yeah.
Thursday?
I have Thursday session.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, we can just move it to a Wednesday that week.
Okay, that works
That'd be
great.
good.
Yeah, just because I have no idea how long the interview and stuff's gonna take. Also,
Yeah.
it's in the Bay Area, so yeah.
No, take your time driving and doing your interview.
Yeah, dude.
Yep.
Wait, you're gonna be in the Bay Area?
Yeah, it's Contra Costa. I have no idea where that is.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Go chill with me.
Yeah, hey, maybe we should. We totally should.
dude, let's do it. Just let me know when you're there.
For sure. My
Probably
interview's at
should
like
have to
2:30 or
drive
something.
up and
So
down.
I'll let you know. I'll have to plan out a little later on, but yeah, for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, my roommate lived right around where you.
Nice.
Fuck, this is like a John Jack style situation. He gave us an adorable NPC we have to kill.
Ah.
We'll see.
You have an out. You can cure him, maybe.
Yeah, can we find your?
Fuck. We'll
We'll
see.
see. Golden orbs exist. They're like.
Oh, find a
shit.
golden orb and wish him
What's the name's
cure.
a fucking golden orb on full sale unless you become
We could use
a
him
real
cure.
fan favorite. We'll see.
Your fan favorite?
I love.
I just eat his soul. I'm calling it.
We're gonna what?
Who's gonna eat his soul?
Yeah.
A
Is he
golden,
gonna merge with someone here?
golden orbs are just like markedly profane, so I'm just calling it. He can't be a zombie if he doesn't have a soul.
I could-
have a body.
Guys, I'm just saying, if I do kill him, I can turn people into my kind of zombies.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Kill him and just have him be a spore
He
zombie.
can be a spore zombie.
And just say something like natural.
No.
Or
He'd be a zombie fighting the other zombies' urges.
Yes, he can be our pet zombie.
Oh
No.
That's
What?
two different levels of fucked up right there.
Slowly appear.
Alright, well, phenomenal!
Alright, well, thank you guys so much. I will see you guys on the 14th, and happy Halloween!
Definitely.
See you
I
then.
know,
Happy Halloween.
what I sent you is how Arrow is going to walk through the entire snow.
I love it
It's
so
cute.
much.
Let me take a look. Let's see.
That was just for you, don't worry.
Oh, who's that? Okay.
He's like a
He looks wolfy
Here's
though.
another
He's
one.
big.
Well, here's another one.
Ooh, cute.
It was from here, but this one.
Cute.
He's like cool. He's a
All right. Well, now we have an NPC. We have to figure out what to do.
We let him live.
Who we
Oh,
do?
yeah.
Alright, let me open this section. What the fuck? Oh my god, Ashley.
Bitch.
What the fuck?
That's how I'm walking through the snow!
That was not what I was expecting. I did not know you can get your knees that high, too. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm actually surprised.
Acrobatic.
Alright, for sure, for sure. Okay, yeah. In that
Could have
case,
been an old bird doing that.
it is probably my mental image is very unattractive, I'll say that.
It's great, isn't it?
Alright, let me know about you guys' custom things. Take as long as you guys need to design them. If it turns out the ice area takes more than one session, we'll definitely elongate it from there. And I'll say that at the end of the ice section, just letting you guys know in advance, you guys will level up. So,
Woo!
yeah, at the end of the ice section. So that can take 1 to 2 sessions at most. 1 session is probably.
Mm.
So we haven't yet.
Not yet. We
Okay.
will after the ice thing. Assuming
Okay.
we survive.
Awesome.
That's when I get my zombie powers. Just saying.
Ooh, 6 is a good one. More abilities.
Woo!
All right. Good night, Brooks.
Alright,
Good
bye
night.
guys. Take care. Have a good work week.
Good night, me.
Yeah.
Yeah, night.
Alright, happy Halloween.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween.
Peace.
Bye.